going on, Giant fans? Going live for this one, obviously. Thank you guys for the ones who showed up. Thank you to Benny, Joseph, as usual. Of course, StreamYard won't let me see the emojis on that one. Obviously, in about a minute, we're going to start talking about free agency and that stuff like that. I'm expected to have a guest on here as well. So let me just put in the call-in link for anyone who decides to show up. Put it in there. It's in the in there. Sub Joseph, like usual. Great support of the channel. Let's go through what we're going to go through today. Obviously, we got the Kenny Golladay rumors. We have the Ifeadi Odenigbo signing. I'm going to have to learn how to say that, to be honest with you. Also, besides the Odenigbo signing, we got Mike Glennon, and we also got other Giants offseason moves. If you guys, obviously, I don't know whether the stream just restarted or something. Let me just take a look, because it said live and now it's recording, 12 seconds or whatever. But for anyone, it is just, if it reloaded, anyways, got to go play basketball right now. That's cool, Joseph. Obviously, thank you for tuning in. Call-in link is down there. I know I've been having a lot of feuds with Bengal fans over the past 24 hours because of the whole, the Golladay thing, because basically they gave him, or at least offered him as of right now, a 1-year contract. I'm like, really? A 1-year deal to go to a poverty franchise? So obviously, anyone who views this, feel free to call in. I'm expected to have all things Giants here as well. Let me just see something here. I just want to make sure that this has been rolling as long as it has been. And then in about a minute or so, I'll go over Mike Glennon and what I think of the views, what I think of, him and stuff. And in just a second, I don't want to double the sound because I'm looking at something. Okay, so let me start off. I'll get to the Golladay rumors in a minute, but I want to start off with the Ifeadi Odenigbo signing. My brother told me this last night, so I didn't actually know till, I would say a couple minutes after, because I did some research on this guy. And then he told me the name. I'm like, who is that? So let me just put the banner up so you guys know what I'm talking about. Odenigbo. And then signed. Should be. Oh, that's not what I want. Hold on. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Okay. Now we got it. So, obviously, let me just see the comment section here. Hi, I might be on later. Benny, take your time, obviously. I do have somebody who's probably going to be coming in the next minute. Kyle Rudolph. Was he signed? Because I know the Giants have interest in him. As far as that goes, Giants are in talks with... Yeah, they're signing him. Actually, wow. Talk about breaking news, guys. 2 years, $16 million. Guys, whoever's watching this video, watch the overpays. Watch everyone come out and say, oh, he's overpaid, this, that, and the other thing. And I don't know what contract he was making last year, because I know he signed a big extension with the Vikings and he didn't end up working out. To be honest with you, I think he can be our tight end 3. I think he can be our tight end 3 or a tight end 2, because I think as I said, I don't know. I'm not in the building. I'm not talking to Joe Judge, Dave Gettleman, and the tight ends coaches. But I think this is a decent signing. Let me just put it in there as well. I know. Hold on. That's the private chat. Banner. You just edit this. Let's see. Now I got to switch it to Kyle Rudolph. Okay. So as far as, and I've been hearing rumors all offseason ever since he was released. Oh, the Giants, they're connected to him somehow. Obviously, Levine Toilolo is only coming back on the restructure for like $1 million a year. So there's a chance he actually gets cut in the preseason. Let me just text this one guy right now. As I said, I apologize for the many interruptions, and I'm going to go back on it in a minute. Because I know one of the guys that's supposed to come on here has school. Interesting. The Giants sign Kyle Rudolph, but I don't have a problem with that. I'm just waiting to see how many people in terms of, who says, oh, uh, who, he's overpaid, this, that, and the other thing. People saying it's weird. I honestly, I think that he's going to be brung in. I don't know what they're not trading Ingram, at least in my opinion, because why would Kyle Rudolph be your tight end one? Maybe to reshape his career, but once again, I just want to see who complains about this signing. I'm not necessarily on board with every signing that the Giants have had so far. Let me just see, bit pricey. Here we go. Way too much. Oh yeah. And as I said right now, we don't even know the contract details. So, I'm going to wait on this. As of right now, I think it's a good signing contract-wise. Maybe we'll see about that. But in terms of depth signings and like that, he's probably going to compete with someone like Caden Smith and Levine Toilolo. I just don't see, what was I going to say? Bobby Skinner from Talking Giants says, I don't see the Giants rolling with both Rudolph and Ingram. If they trade him, I would like it, but, that also opens the Kyle Pitts door as well. I mean, Rudolph could be a tight end 3, but you'd be paying him, honestly, a lot to be a tight end 3. We'll see what happens with Caden Smith because apparently the Giants, Fernando Crespo says 2 for $16 million. Yep. Obviously, Fernando, I'm not making excuses here. We'll see what the contract details are like because everyone was just saying, just for example, the Dalvin Tomlinson deal was, I believe, 2 years, $22 million, and it was like $16 million or $20 million in the first year. Something like that. You have to go back and look at the details. Ian Rappaport put it out. But I'll see the contract details. I'll see if he's overpaid. Excuse me, because there's a phone down here, and I really don't like, when it goes off in the middle of this. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. So 2 for $16 million. As I said, I'm not defending the move. I personally don't think it's a bad one, but obviously we'll see the contract details when they come out. And just that, I guess. But to be honest with you, did I see it coming? Like, do I have sources or anything like that? And I'll talk about that in a little bit because the beat media is constantly wrong about this. Constantly wrong about free agency, constantly wrong, and then, when someone else reports something, they go on to it like they knew this the whole time. So they're basically either, flip-flopping because they don't have good sources, A, or B, they're basically doing it just to, not give fans the right of way in terms of like news and stuff. But let's see with Giants Twitter. I have a feeling that a lot of people won't like this. Golladay and Rudolph in the red zone. Someone is a funny thing actually because Chisel Adonis, who is a content creator, he's a comedian, and he does commentary. Guys, if you guys haven't already subscribed to him, and every time he would score or at least get a reception, he would call him Rudolph the Red Zone Reindeer. So hopefully, he would do that. Rudolph is good in the red zone, so we'll see what happens in terms of this. And I have something to bring up with Keith because I know he doesn't like the Devontae Booker signing. I know he doesn't like a couple other things. See something? Let me just text something real quick. As I said, I apologize. Oh, good. Amazon Prime is now the exclusive home of Thursday Night Football, so I won't be able to watch it unless I go in the living room. And someone will always be streaming, hopefully. So that's where I'll get that from. Obviously, guys, call-in link is up above. Let me just put it out here. That's the call-in link. If you guys have any questions, throw them at me. It could be about anything NFL related. Think the Giants are trading Ingram in the next couple hours? Diggy says shout-outs to him. Mitchell Trubisky to the Buffalo Bills. Wow, that's a weird one. Mitchell Trubisky to the Buffalo Bills. Let me just quickly do something. Wi-Fi. The more advanced network. So, okay, we're good. Let me bring on somebody. All day Giants. Heath, obviously, and you obviously seen from the chat what the Giants just did, but did you hear about Trubisky?
Oh yeah, I did. I just checked our chat and I saw that, and that kind of raised an eyebrow.
I mean, they have Jake Fromm. They have, I think Matt Barkley signed a 2-year extension. So let's go into the first one, and obviously it's not of the topics I have listed below, but in terms of that, what do you think of the Kyle Rudolph signing? Did you expect it? What do you say?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of us expected it. It wasn't something like many people said we projected to get Kyle Rudolph. So it kind of caught me by surprise when I first saw it. When I saw it, I wasn't too mad at it. Now I'm not gonna. The price I think was a bit pricey. I'm not gonna lie. I think we could have got him for a little bit less, but I do like it. I think one thing the Giants struggle with is scoring in the red zone. So I think if getting him does allow us to get a nice red zone target, I think if we can pull through with the Golladay signing, I think that gives Daniel Jones another red zone target. So that'll be 2 red zone targets. But I do think this means, like you just said, Ingram's departure is coming.
I do think that possibly. Obviously, I thought before the coaching staff, he, as in Joe Judge, really likes Ingram for some reason. Guys, if you haven't already, the link is there. Subscribe to All the Giants. He's had a lot of content creators on. But obviously, because some of these deals, you just look at them. Like Leonard Williams, for example, everything was 3 years, $63 million. I was somewhat off in my ideal offseason because I had 3 years, 60, and he got 3 years, 63. So people are saying, oh, it's $20 million a year. Not necessarily, because you have to look at the cap hit. You have to look at the contract details, because he gets, what is his cap hit this year? $11 million. And that's not bad considering the situation we're in. Then it's, I believe, 26. Then I believe it's 25. But the Giants can work with that in terms of restructuring. So I'm not necessarily mad at that. He's back with the Giants. If they would have lost both of them or traded Williams in a trade, I still wouldn't have been happy, because, he's a big part in the run defense and in terms of, the dirty work on the defensive line. Tell me what you thought of the Leonard Williams deal.
Now I'll stick to what I said. I was a fan of before letting Dalvin go. I wanted to just tag and trade Leonard Williams, get a pick, stick with Dalvin Tomlinson, and have that pick, and we can either use that pick on D-line or anything like that. But I felt like in the situation we were in, instead of having that cap hit by the franchise tag, we could have traded him to a team like Jacksonville for one of their picks. I think they would have taken him. But now that we have re-signed him, I'm not upset at it. I do, because I think we freed up like $9 million when he signed the contract for this year. And like you said, we can restructure and things like that. So I think he is one of the leaders on the defense. I don't mind him coming back for another year. I honestly, I'm not gonna say, yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm proud to have him on our team. He's a good guy.
Definitely, and a lot of Giant fans, or at least in this offseason, where even before everything began, they would have preferred Leo over Dalvin because of the production. But having Dalvin, if the Giants would have done otherwise and signed Dalvin to extension and let Leo go, you would have had probably more money. But in terms of that, what did you think of the Ifeadi Odenigbo signing? It takes me a while to pronounce that name, actually. I'll go into his stats in a minute. What do you think of the signing?
I was actually at dinner last night, and I looked at my phone, and then I saw somebody said the Jets picked him up, so I put it back down, and then I saw somebody said the Giants got him, and I was like, okay. I remember I've watched multiple Vikings games due to fantasy football, and I've heard his name pop up before. Nothing like too big, but I've heard his name before. But I wasn't too mad at it. I think it's similar to the John Ross thing. It's like a prove it type of thing. I think it's like 1 year, right? 1 or 2 years.
1 year. I want to say. Let me look it up. Actually, I want to say it is a 1 year. Ifeadi. Oh my God, I can't even spell.
Yeah, Jets are signing Juju, are closing in on Juju.
Really?
Yeah, that's what.
Also, in Giants news, they are hosting former Jet and Patriot Brandon Copeland for a workout.
The punter?
Potato, what's up? No, he's actually a pass rusher and a special teams guy, so that really doesn't surprise me there. Ifeadi Odenigbo, and of course, I can't get an answer. I want to say something like 2.5 million. I mean, maybe around the John Ross thing. I got to go through my tweets real quick.
What do you think about the John Ross thing? I'm a bit higher than I've seen most people.
real quick, and I'll definitely put my thoughts into that. Kenny Golladay, where's the? Oh, here we go. Okay, let me get to that. John Ross, I don't have a problem with that. I really don't, because it's a depth signing. I don't know who thinks that he's going to be the number one receiver, the number one pass target. No, he's coming in. He's probably going to compete with Dante Pettis for a backup wide receiver role. We'll see what happens. Obviously, if we get Golladay, his role will probably be minimized a little bit. But him going, obviously, the stuff with him, and I'll get to this in a minute. Potato, thank you for coming in once again. He is on international time. He studies in the UK. So shout outs to him. He came on the last podcast episode for Boys in Big Apple. But anyway, in terms of John Ross, he's a good deep ball guy. He does need to work on his drops. He had 15 drops between 2018 and 2019. And his injury history is a little, I would say weary. Also, another thing, someone said it, and I think they're right. He was, I believe, the fastest wide receiver, or one of the fastest wide receivers on the 40-yard dash. And someone said to that, he's like, I think it was Bad Dog or somebody else. They're like, well, this shows that even fast wide receivers with the 40 don't translate to the NFL. And John Ross with the Bengals obviously hasn't developed into that, and we can make our excuses that, it's the Bengals and all that stuff. So let me get to this real quick. Question. Will Joe Burrow survive next season with the O-line? I'm going to say no. I'll let you implement your thoughts in a minute. But obviously yesterday when I was coming home from baseball practice, and I kept hearing, the Kenny Golladay stuff as I was walking out. But when I got in my house and I was close to it, I went on my phone. And it's like Albert Breer said that the Bengals have an offer on the table for Kenny Golladay. So I'm like, you know what? We'll see what happens. I'm not going to get my hopes up about him coming to the Giants yet. And then I see another tweet, or it's in that same tweet, it's a 1-year prove-it deal. And some Giants fan in the offseason said, Kenny Golladay might take a prove-it deal. I'm like, no, he's not. He's going to take something multi-year. And, that's where I said it. Well, excuse me. Going back to the Bengals tweet about the 1-year contract, I'm like, why would this guy take a prove-it deal with a poverty franchise that does not know how to draft? And they're not necessarily in the greatest position right now. Like, you could say, oh, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, all that. Their defense is not necessarily the greatest, though. They did pick up Chidobe Awuzie. They also picked up somebody else, Trey Hendrickson, from the Saints. Basically, another Saints player that they picked up. Von Bell is not with them anymore. At least I don't think so. So they still got that going on, and I don't think he'll survive with the O-line if they don't make improvements. Because you still have some guys on the market that are pretty decent when it comes to the O-line, even starting in free agency. And I'm not saying you have to go in free agency and take all the linemen there are. I'm not saying that. But when you have guys like Matt Filer on the market, who's a decent right tackle, he's also playing left guard. When you have other decent offensive linemen out there, and they had a bit of cap money. They had more than us probably. So, now you're targeting wide receiver over offensive line. It doesn't seem like a good fit. And we'll see. Again, they might go Rashawn Slater at 5. They might go, if Sewell sticks at 5, they might go somewhere else. But they need to do some work on the offensive line. And, I've been in fights with Bengals fans the last 24 hours because I basically said, why would he want to go to a poverty franchise? And the guy's like, and the PFF, of course, them sucking them off, not afraid to say it, basically said, what do they say? Well, PFF said, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, CJ Uzama, why, they're basically advertising for Kenny Golladay to go to the Bengals, and Chad Ochocinco obviously is advertising for that as well. But obviously PFF, and I think they're big Giants haters. That's just me because obviously, they just go out there and hate on the Giants, when it matters or whatever. But obviously they're advocating for more of the Bengals. And I screen recorded and I put out that clip of, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's one episode of Family Guy where Stewie wants to play football. I'll play it right now. 49ers have Joe Flacco in for a visit.
Yeah. And I just saw something that said Golladay just arrived for his visit.
Good for that. And for anyone who's viewing, let me just pull it up. I think I have it here, and I deleted it, but that's okay because I'll pull it up on here. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. If you guys can see it, you probably will be able to, but video file. No, that's not what I want. It's a pain in the ass, too. Okay. see how the volume works on this one. Or it might be a learning experience for Joe Burrow to scramble. Respectfully to that, and I understand where you're coming from, Potato, that's not necessarily the ideal situation a quarterback, even first overall, wants to be in. So I'm going to share my screen right now. This is basically, just to put it out there, this is basically what Joe Burrow, is right now. And even if Kenny Golladay was in the offense. So let me share it up. Hold on. Share video screen, application window. All right. Okay. Just play one more time.
I can't see it.
You can't?
No, it's not popping up.
All right. Hold on.
It's just the black screen. I can hear it, though.
All right. Yeah, I see it. All right. For anyone in the stream, tell me if you can see it, obviously. Keith said he can't see it. You guys probably can't. All right. I'm just going to exit out of this for now. Let me just real quickly. I'll go to my Twitter and do this because it's probably much easier. Media. I just had it. Okay, here we are. Let me go to my exact tweet. Okay, Potato couldn't see it, but that's okay because I have it on Twitter.
I'll throw my 2 cents before you watch. I was gonna say they could. I can see it now. Oh yeah, that's a little. If you don't protect him, like honestly, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but prioritizing getting Golladay over, like they could go with getting what's the right tackle or the left tackle that just got cut by the Chiefs? Not Eric Fisher, Mitchell Schwartz.
He's still out there, from what I'm saying. From what I'm understanding,
they could get Mitchell Schwartz. You could go Penny Sewell in the draft, and then you could slide their left tackle from Alabama a few drafts ago. You could slide him to guard. Yeah, you could slide him to guard, and then you have a more functioning offensive line rather than going with what you had last year that just got Joe Burrow obliterated. Giving all your money to wide receiver when you already have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd instead of going wide receiver in the later rounds of the draft just doesn't make sense to me.
Let me just finagle some of my camera real quick. But yeah, definitely. And I definitely do agree with you there. And as I said it on Twitter. I said it, I think it was yesterday when I was arguing with Bengals fans. I said basically this. I said, yeah, they pretty much prioritize something, let's just say it's a need. Like, for last year, or I would say this year, wide receivers are needed for the Giants. They'll address it 2 years later. That's the Bengals for you. They're a terrible drafting team, and I honestly don't know why, Kenny Golladay would want to go there over New York. And even Miami you can make cases for, because for Miami, and, according to a source that I have, well, not really a source, but someone who's been to Cincinnati, he said, yeah, there's no nightlife there. So it's not Miami. It's not New York. And again, no nightlife. I hope they don't turn him to Andrew Luck. Well, unfortunately, right now, I'm sorry. I'm horrible. That's the way he's going right now. Let me just
kind of like you can see Jacksonville. I don't think like they re-signed or they franchise tag Cam Robinson. I think they understand.
I honestly don't know why you would do that. He's average.
Yeah, he's average, but you always want to have extra type of guy who's there who understands the scheme. They just want to do whatever they can to protect Trevor Lawrence, and I understand that.
Let's see, private chat. Benny, I'll let you in a minute. Fernando Crespo says Paulson Adebo runs 4.42, maybe a third round pick. With that, I know a lot of people have been bringing up in the third round. Personally, if we get a guy like Kenny Golladay, and I'm not saying you can't go wide receiver. I'm not saying you can't go Kyle Pitts because I know that's been thrown in the sauce lately. But in terms of that, I would go corner first round. I would say, and for some reason the Giants still have money right now, so I would try to throw it at somebody who's still available. I don't know the market. I know Gary and Conley's still available. I know Richard Sherman's still available. That's not happening, by the way. I'm just going to say that right now. But I've heard Paulson Adebo's name. Would I be against it? I haven't done enough scouting or watching a film. I know he opted out last season, I'm pretty sure, so it might be tougher. But, Caleb Farley or Patrick Surtain at 11, I would be down with that. You get – and unfortunately, one of the things that kind of, as I said, we'll see what happens because I'm an optimistic guy. But I would have liked the Giants to get a veteran guard in free agency. I would have liked that to happen because, Gabe Jackson, as of right now, he's still on the market. You have other guys.
Got traded. I thought he just got traded to Seattle.
That might have happened, actually.
I think I
know Rodney Hudson, he got traded to Arizona.
Mm-hmm. I think I saw Gabe Jackson get traded. I can check.
I can check as well. Gabe Jackson. Oh, yeah, you're all right. He got traded to Seattle, which is interesting because their right guard – well, actually, no, their right guard's kind of their center.
They re-signed Richie Incognito, who I think is
that's the left side. He's still good at his age, but he's a very dirty player, and he doesn't have necessarily the greatest of backgrounds. But we know the Oakland Raiders / Las Vegas Raiders, they're about that. Antonio Brown, Vontaze Burfict, Richie Incognito now. So, I hope they don't turn – as of going back to that comment, I honestly hope they don't turn him into Andrew Luck because that's another first overall pick wasted. Let's see. Obviously, yes. So, for fun fact, I've known this on Twitter for the longest time now. If the Giants traded Evan Ingram, they'd save about $6 million in cap space. Now, apparently, there were talks with the Jets about trading Evan Ingram. I don't know if the Giants even picked up the phone. I don't know if the Giants listened to it, but I know that the Jets wanted Evan Ingram, which honestly, not from a blocking standpoint because they still have, I think, what's that guy's name? Ryan Griffin and Chris Herndon. As if you use them as blocking tight ends, I think that's fine. And then you have Ingram, who's that receiver. But you also need, I was talking to my brother yesterday. I'm like, why don't you guys just go out and sign a free agent or something like that? So he goes, oh, George Fant, he's still good. I'm like, yeah, but you're not building for the next 12 months. You're building for the future. So that's why, for the Jets, I would probably have them in a mock draft taking somebody like, I don't know, let's see who's available. Alex Leatherwood at that time, maybe translate him to the right tackle spot. I don't know. Benny, who's in the studio, I'll let in just a minute. I hope we trade Ingram. Yeah, I hope we do too. Here's Benny now. What's going on, Benny?
Not much. Did the contracts come out for Kyle Rudolph yet? Because I was surprised in the first.
I know it's $2 million, 2 years, $16 million. As I said, I don't know. Let's see.
Because then I was hearing that it was up to or $14 million. It was up to $14 million, not $14 million.
I heard 16 mil, which basically everybody makes the assumption that it's $8 million. Yeah, not necessarily, because you obviously got to factor the signing bonuses in. As I said at the beginning of the stream with Leonard Williams, it was not $20 million a year. You have $11 million on the cap this year, 26.5 next year. That's just the way NFL works. Potato says yes. Use Ingram to catch and drop passes. With that, Potato, I'm just gonna say that's the Jets' problem if they end up trading for him. Wait,
Garofalo said expecting this one to come in at 2 years with a max value of $14 million. So what does that mean? Like, does that mean that it's not? I guess it's not guaranteed, right? Okay.
Well, I'd pitch in. I'd say, I don't know if that's guaranteed. I saw Art Stapleton, I think he put it out. He said 2 mil, 16. So I believe that's what it'll come out to be, or they'll space it out some way.
That's a lot of money. I don't know. Are we still voting Golladay now? I don't know.
Yeah, Golladay's. I think I spoke to Alex about it. He just arrived. I think they said around 3:00. He just arrived. So.
Oh, he just arrived. Nice.
Yeah, I don't think any of these deals affect him. I think ultimately Gettleman and Judge understand that even if we're doing these side deals,
trying to figure out how are we going to get the money to sign Golladay now, because I don't know if we have the money anywhere.
I mean, we still could. I think Spencer Pulley's still on the roster, right?
Yeah, true. And we can still trade Ingram also.
Restructure, trade Ingram.
And we haven't done any barely any restructuring and all. So yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, I've heard also people saying that they think we already have the deal ready for Golladay and that we're just waiting to see his medicals and he's just fine with it, and then we'll just get him. But I don't know.
I
a
think
deal
yeah.
ready with him. I
I
think
think
that could be
yeah.
true. I think they at least have some type of deal ready with him. I really do.
Yeah.
But it sounds like I actually kind of like what they're doing. It sounds like they're gonna, really talk to him. He's gonna talk to not just like Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman. It sounds like he'll talk to like, other coaches on the roster. I mean, on the team. Even like taking him out to dinner, just seeing what his plans are, like so he fits, what the team's looking towards doing, and stuff like that. So, I think it sounds interesting. Like an interesting idea. You don't really see that much.
Yeah, I agree with you. I heard that he was going to talk tomorrow. I do believe it all comes down to, I think, with both parties having mutual interest, I think if his hip is fine and everything else is fine, he'll walk away as a New York Giant. So that my biggest worry isn't about any external factors with Cincinnati offering him a 1 year prove it. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about Miami or any other team. I feel like if we do what we have to do, he'll be on our team. We're not worried about anything else. So
yeah, he seems to be interested in us also. So it seems like it's not like we're just showing interest at him. Like it's the fact that he's willing to come over, he fly over to New York or New. I don't know where they're exactly doing it, but fly over to there, do stuff like and actually like do the medicals and just everything and stuff like that. Like he clearly has interest in the team, and I think I saw something. I don't know what Rappaport meant, but I think he might come on NFL Network also today or something
Golladay?
to talk about like what he thought about, or maybe he'll talk with somebody about what he thought about going in to like the actual building and like talking to them. I saw something. It was a clip of Rappaport on NFL Network, and it was him talking about it. He said it would be very interesting. He can't wait to see what Golladay thought of the after he went there. So I don't know if they are like interviewing him or having him on the show, but I hope he is.
I apologize for being absent a little bit. What was the last thing that you guys were talking about?
We were talking about
what was the thing about Jimmy G?
Jimmy G.
Because I know you brought that up before.
I think he was talking about the 2 year $14 million. And then we started talking about Golladay and his thoughts about being in the building.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Maybe
So
the Chargers.
Did you know? Like, is this? I guess it's not guaranteed. I think that's what Schefter meant because he said it's up to 14 or up to 16 million. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, if it's up to 16 million, as I said, you guys.
It can't
generally.
Be
No, I mean also as well. Going back to what was it? Going back to what I said earlier. You got to look at the contract details. It's not always going to be cut clear and dry.
Yeah.
$8 million a year. Let's see. Fernando Crespo says maybe the Chargers trade for Ingram. I feel like they just got a tight end, but if they don't,
they just got Jared Cook. Yeah.
But I think at the same time, you could trade for Ingram. They obviously wouldn't give up the 13th overall pick.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, you do need a pass catcher, and I don't think Jared Cook is at that point in the career where he's going to be as reliable as Hunter Henry.
Well, this just came out, and it's a bit of a sidetrack, but now they've totaled it to 9 women who are placing lawsuits against Deshaun Watson.
That's a lot of people. I mean, I feel like if there's that many people, it has to be true, right?
No, I wouldn't say
I guess
it has
not
to be true. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a coincidence, but and you will know I wouldn't take it away from anybody, and I'm not in the situation, so I can't be specific.
Obviously.
But I, in my opinion, I just don't find it like how coincidental it is.
I know, it's just kind of weird.
Listen, I got an opinion on that. I got an opinion on that. Now, if it is a setup by McNair or whoever,
I saw that. Yeah.
If it is, you have to cover your tracks better, honestly, because immediately after these things came out, the lawyer who was accusing him or whatever, is filing charges.
Yeah,
Cal McNair's neighbor, obviously. So you got to cover your tracks better, honestly. Just if this is a setup, it may not, maybe it may not be, whatever. Let's see. I believe we will drive O-line player draft. I think he means draft O-line players since Dave likes big players. I don't think so. I mean,
if that is a setup, that's just like
Slater. I wouldn't mind Slater though.
Trouble for that, right? If that was a setup.
You saying, Benny?
The Texans, if that was actually a setup by the owner or whatever, McNair, I guess they would be in huge trouble. I mean, they would be in huge trouble, I would think, right?
If they probably prove it, if they do, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
The owner would probably be in trouble with the NFL.
Yeah,
Just saying.
But yeah, I mean,
going back to the Rashawn Slater thing, I don't think they're going to do that. I wouldn't mind him, but I don't think they're going to do that because I think what their mentality is if Parrott's not ready, Nate Solder's going to go in at right tackle.
Yeah, so I like that also. I agree with that. I don't think we need Slater. I was going to go for Pitts. At this point, I'd rather get Parsons or a corner.
I don't, honestly, what was I going to say? With not Pitts, Parsons, obviously the stuff in the background with the
yeah, that's the problem.
With that the stuff off the field, excuse me, and you were talking about Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of I mean, I know Nate was talking about it. Nate Talks Giants. I know he was talking about a little bit that basically he would have no role in the no role in the defense. It would be difficult. Guys,
yeah, I feel like he's a lot like a guy like Jabril Peppers, by the way. So I don't know if that would make the most sense.
I have a theory about that.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 second. Joseph Balby says, guys, if you haven't already, comment, and subscribe. I'll put Benny's thing in the chat. But the thing with Peppers is, Entertainer brought this up. Could he be possibly the cover linebacker that the Giants want?
I would only problem I could say about Jabril Peppers being the coverage linebacker is his size. I think he's 5'11", 5'10". He's of the smaller side.
He's a little small.
So guys, tight ends that are like George Kittle and Travis Kelce, for example, who are and Darren Waller, who are taller guys, he maybe can stay step with him, but due to his size, he'll be at a mismatch. You could look at Levante David and you see how he was able to shut down Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl, but he's a much bigger, much stronger defender than Jabril Peppers is. So I think we'd have to get a bona fide coverage linebacker in order for them to have that sole position. And I don't even think I wouldn't say he's that bad, but I don't think he's good enough in coverage to be strictly that. But he's good in coverage nonetheless.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think if we think that Parsons isn't the guy that he has those off the field issues, we don't want to deal with him. I would probably just go Chasserat in the second round. Honestly, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't take
Owusu. I would probably just go a cornerback or and then draft Surratt. Or I would, if there's no really good corners, I would trade down and take a guy like an Azeez Ojulari even.
What was I going to say? A lot of people have been linking Surratt, and one of the guys who's a big OBJ fan, authentic in the beard, and he's a big OBJ guy. A lot of people say he hasn't gotten over the trade. He was talking about one time that Jabril Peppers, he got beat by Boston Scott in the Philly game. I mean, yes, but at the same time, look at the time that we faced Washington the second time and what he was doing to Logan Thomas. And he also recorded an interception that game. So obviously, that. What are your thoughts, Benny, on Ifeadi Odenigbo and the signing?
Oh, well, I got to look more into him, but I will say this. So far from what I've seen, I love the signing a lot. I think it's another low risk, high reward type of signing. How much are we paying him? Are we paying him? It's not that much.
2.5. If it's not that much.
It's so little, and I think I wouldn't mind him and BJ Hill and Austin Johnson. Just honestly, I wouldn't mind even having those guys as just for one of those spots. Just really just rotating them around. I don't even know if we really need to get a replacement at this point. Any bigger replacement for Dalvin Tomlinson. I don't look if we find a spot where we're look, there's a guy on this, board, or there's a guy in free agency that fits fits that spot, and that's not going to take that much, and there's nothing really else we need. Then sure, but if we shouldn't feel pressured to get in. I don't think we should feel pressured anymore to try to get a guy, whether it's in the second round or even the third round. I think those guys we can move Lawrence to the inside, which he was drafted. When he was drafted, he was a nose tackle. That's what people called him. So he can obviously play that. And then we can, just rotate those guys. And I think we actually could be fine there.
Yeah, with regard to that signing, and I looked at some of the because obviously people have been putting film breakdowns and highlights of Odenigbo, and I'm like, yes, this is Kyler Fackrell's basic replacement, but he's not playing linebacker. He's not going to play linebacker. He's going to play,
Mhm.
he's
Yeah.
going to switch on the defensive line with Austin Johnson, all those other guys. But nonetheless, I do like the signing. I'll go to
Yeah, and by the way, Schefter just tweeted out Lions free agent wide receiver Kenny Golladay spent Wednesday night meeting with Bears general manager Ryan Pace and head coach Matt Nagy, per source. He is scheduled to meet in New York tonight to meet with the Giants.
That's kind of weird, honestly, because they have
So that
Robinson already. You can't have two number one wide receivers like both of them.
I think if they were going to get him, they would trade Robinson. I think that's the point of it.
Yeah, you would probably end up trading.
Or just what's it called?
But it's a good thing that he left without a deal. So, but Chicago, like out of all the teams I've seen, he's been linked to, such as Cincinnati, us, Chicago, and I think those are like the few teams he's been linked to.
Oh.
Not even trying to be leaving all bias out of it. The best place career wise, and if he's betting on himself to go, would be to New York, because you obviously see how the Bears are treating Allen Robinson and a bottom tier, and a top tier receiver. They're treating him and they're tagging him, not giving him the money he wants. He's clearly unhappy. Then you go to Miami. Miami is a good place, good weather and all that, but they have problems with their quarterback. They don't know if their quarterback is going to be the guy. And then you've got who else?
Cincinnati. They're offering a 1-year deal. So
yeah, they're giving you a 1-year deal. So that's obviously not something you want to play on. It's just when in New York, you're betting on yourself, so you'll have the outside of football opportunities and things like that. You're going to have a year 3 quarterback who is on paper the best deep ball passer in the league, and then like it's setting up for his best opportunity to be with New York.
Yeah, and I think I just realized something from the Bears now thinking about this. I wonder if when they're trying to trade for when they were trying to trade for Russell Wilson, and now they're trying to continue, I guess, to try to trade for Watson. I'm guessing. I wonder if they were trying to package not Golladay, trying to package Allen Robinson and a bunch of picks and stuff like that for Russell Wilson. I don't know, just an idea. Maybe that was happening. Because, if they had interest in Golladay, that means that you're going to get rid of Allen Robinson, I think. I doubt they would pay both of those guys top money.
As I said, it's unrealistic, really, to have two top-tier wide receivers like both of them. We saw what happened in Cleveland the last 2 years. Both were locker room distractions, and then you go to 2020 and Odell tears his ACL. Nothing against Odell. That's what happened. And Jarvis Landry got a bunch. And, both of those wide receivers, or one of them will say, I'm not getting treated fairly because I'm not getting the ball. Mm-hmm. So in that case, if they meet with Kenny Golladay and if they try working out a deal, they're going to trade Allen Robinson. There's no doubt about that. Joseph Balby says Gettleman is doing great. I can't see the emojis, but there's a lot of people who actually still disagree with that. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jordan Renan, he said this is quite interesting. Would that make Allen Robinson available, which is another thing? Would that mean that we would try to trade for Robinson? I don't think so, right?
See, with that, let me just get to something. Yeah, Allen Robinson's unhappy. The Dolphins can get a new QB thanks to the Texans. As of right now, Tua is their guy, and in my opinion, they would have already traded for him. That's at least my opinion. I don't know what's going to happen with Watson and what else like that, but what was I going to say? I don't think the Giants, in my opinion, are willing to give up picks for Allen Robinson. I think that'd be kind of silly. I think the Bears would kind of put it in high demand. They would probably ask for like a first and a second or a first and a third. The Giants are not in a year where they could give that up. So that's at least my opinion on that.
Yeah, I'll step in and I agree with that. I don't think with the Lions, they said they'd be asking for a second. So, and I think Allen Robinson is a better receiver than Golladay, so they'd be asking at lowest a first rounder. And where we're at with the 11th pick, I think investing in younger talent and investing with the guys we got now instead of trying to bank all for this, because even if we do trade for him, we're therefore going to have to pay him because he'd be on the franchise tag and we'd just be stuck in another Leonard Williams type of situation. So it wouldn't be smart to trade for him. And I'm glad he left Chicago without a deal that says something about not really
left without a deal
where he is in his deal, but also for something for Chicago. I wouldn't want to play for a team from his standpoint. I wouldn't want to play for a team who one doesn't want to pay their receivers, but then has a head coach on the hot seat, a GM on the hot seat. So that's not a appealing place to go.
Yeah.
So hopefully Gettleman and Judge is clearly going to be the coach for the Giants for years to come. Dave Gettleman, although he's on the hot seat, that wouldn't really go too much for Golladay. I think they should do what they have to do to lock him in tonight and not let him leave because that's the guy we need.
Yeah, and Golladay clearly has interest in us. And
for sure.
Here's the thing. We're not a perfect situation, but we're better than the Bears, like you said. They don't want to pay their wide receiver. They've been franchise tagging him. He's been unhappy with them. They still are trying to figure out their quarterback situation. They have a problem at head coach. And also, I know Chicago's pretty big, but New York is New York. And a guy like Kenny Golladay, I'm sure, wants to continue to bring up his brand, especially going from a team like the Lions, which isn't like the most talked about team. The New York media would bring up his brand and stuff. So that's another reason he would probably want to go to us even more than that.
I just want to put this sticker under the thing, but I guess. I mean, I've never been to Cincinnati, nor have I ever been to Detroit, but I guess they're two kind of alike situations in terms of cities. Like Detroit's a city; it's just not like Miami. Same thing with Cincinnati. Let's see what else. I just want to put this banner out real quickly. Would you guys? Obviously, we'll still be talking about free agents, but would you guys would you guys mind doing a mock draft in like 5 minutes?
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. I'm just putting out a banner, as I said.
I'm hoping just this Kyle Rudolph thing is not guaranteed because that's a good amount of money for a guy at his age.
It's $2 million. They said it's $2 million, 14 years. So you were right, Benny. So
what is it? Wait, it's 14 million?
Yeah, it's 14 million.
I heard it's 16.
I just saw somebody say it was 4. I think it was Dan who said it was 14. I may be wrong.
Let me see. Let's be honest.
I've seen 14 and 16. I think it's 16 though, because then I think Schefter said 16. I'm still waiting to see the guaranteed. Honestly, when does that come out? Normally, it comes out more when they give the details. But
let's see. New York population is similar to the country I was born in. Okay. What was I going to say? And going back to one of you guys that said it, how are they going to pay Golladay if they can't pay Robinson? And with the wide receiver market, how much is Robinson actually asking for? Is a real question.
Yeah.
I mean, it boggles my mind, but at the same time, they need to stay off our wide receiver because I really want him.
God, I want him so bad.
I'm ready for all of this whole situation. I want him to be a Giant, and I just want to be able to relax and not have to worry about this entire situation. It has caused complete anxiety, and Giants Twitter has been all over the place.
Yeah, the past day or two, I've just been waiting and looking at my phone. And give me a sec. I'm just gonna actually check. I'm just checking. If we cut, what's his name?
Who?
The tight end, that backup tight end. How much would that save?
Toilolo?
No, not Toilolo.
Smith.
Caden Smith. Yeah, Smith. Where is he? I'm going to Spot Rack.
They haven't cut him yet, from what I heard, but I don't think they like him in the offense.
No, I know they haven't cut him. I'm just.
What was I going to say?
Wait, what? How do I do this?
All right.
Never use this.
Let's see. I'm just checking out my new Twitter feed. Also, to kind of point out here, and I know, obviously, besides Giants Twitter, you both are on Giants Twitter, but only two of us are in the Uncut Sports News chat. We all know that was going off Monday night, Tuesday night. And with that, obviously, I don't know if it was you. I know definitely Keith and Jordan didn't agree with it. But how much does the Austin Johnson / Devontae Booker cap hit matter now that we might sign Kenny Golladay, and with Kyle Rudolph coming in and Leonard Williams, and I'm going to put it out there, and Keith, I'll let you give your thoughts on that because obviously there was a very active chat in a way. The Beaver media has not been right in terms of this whole free agency. And this is just it's not really my opinion. It's a fact because I have situations to pull it up. Jordan Ronan of ESPN, he said a couple of guys to keep an eye on are Hassan Riddick and Ahkello Witherspoon. And then when Carolina signs Hassan Riddick, they're like, oh well, excuse me, Jordan Ronan's like, well, they never really had interest. I'm like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then today with the whole Kenny Golladay meeting. What was I going to say? They're like, just the Giants beat. They're like, oh, this is going to happen in the next day or two, which I'm thinking logically. I'm thinking tomorrow. I'm thinking Saturday. And then, Josina Anderson comes out. No, he's visiting the Giants today. And then everybody jumps on that train like they totally put that out as news. I'm like, do they not realize that they were wrong? It just, again, doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm going to pull up Pro Football Network now because I'm in for the mock draft stuff. Diggy, for shout outs to him for anyone who watches him. He said it should be obvious: New York style pizza or Chicago deep dish. Yeah, I live in New York, so I kind of want to. And going back to the beat media as well, like if the Giants are signing this many free agents, Austin Johnson, Devontae Booker, Kyle Rudolph, all these guys, they have more than like $12 million in cap space. So I don't think something's right there. If they sign Leonard Williams to this deal, maybe the Giants restructured Martinez and Bradbury behind doors, and we don't know about it.
Yeah, they never. Sometimes they don't tell these smaller, things like that. Sometimes they just don't mention them. But we could have restructured somebody. Yeah, because I don't know. We signed a good amount of free agents. We didn't sign one or two free agents. We didn't just sign one or two free agents. So I would think it would add up a little bit more than what it has seemed to be people thinking it is right now.
And in regards, this is my biggest example of how these guys can actually get it wrong. Going back to 2019, 2018, there were reports coming out that the Giants were going to select Saquon Barkley in 18, and then 2019, it is tomato casserole potato. From what I've heard, it's absolutely tomato casserole. So that is a no for me. What was I going to say? 2018, reports came out, Giants were going to draft Saquon Barkley. 2019, on draft day, reports coming out, selecting Daniel Jones. In 2020, though, there were reports coming out that the Giants were going to select three guys, or one of the three guys. Tristan Wirfs, Mekhi Becton, Isaiah Simmons. None of them was Andrew Thomas. So I think it's either the beat media is not doing a good job, or the sources inside the organization are not doing a good job, or they're just not giving it to them. So I think, in a way, it is a smart move. Real quickly, I'm going to set up Pro Football Network. I say we do 2 rounds. Does that sound good?
Sound good to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just checking my Giants Twitter real quick.
Dan Duggan said it's starting to feel a whole lot of feel like college recruiting.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, Jordan Renan just says, I'm not exactly understanding this. Clutch, somebody, I don't know, just somebody random had responded to him when he talked about.
Because Jordan Renan's like, this is quite interesting. Would that make Allen Robinson available? And then Clutch is like, no, that's to draw him in to sign. I don't really get that, to be honest. Because
same. And then he says, and then Renan says, this is probably right, but that could get ugly. I don't know.
If I was a Bears fan, I'd be kind of scared.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see what else. This is obviously.
I think that they're losing him. I really do think they're not going to get.
Scout Kelly says that this is absolutely textbook stuff by Galladay's agents. The timing of this league couldn't be any better. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously. So let's go to Pro Football Network mock draft simulator. We'll get into the Glennon stuff in a little bit. I mean, there's not much to talk about in regards to that. Let's go 2 rounds. Normal. Okay, let's select all. I want to do a 7th round mock draft one. Please excuse that.
So, okay, yeah. Wait, what mock draft are you doing?
I'm doing PFN.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Tell me if you guys see it. Just give me 1 second. I do want to go to the application window. Where is it? Okay, you guys see it?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, so I'll go first, then Keith, then Benny. So
right.
Obviously with this pick.
All right.
Keith?
Zach Wilson.
Nice, I like that.
Agreeable.
Alrighty, with the Dolphins, Okay, I haven't done a mock draft, by the way, since free agency started. So hopefully don't forget any free agents. But the Dolphins, I think I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with. Let me think.
Marta, they haven't
think.
gotten a
I mean,
receiver in free agency yet.
They haven't gotten one yet, so I'm between two guys. You know what? I'm gonna say we get Penn Isel.
He's in the Dolphins, yes.
I was between him and Jalen Waddle, by the way. I like
Real
Jalen Waddle
quickly,
for them the most.
Potato says, "Well, they let him in the facility and lock the doors and not
Mhm.
Didn't that
allow him
happen in
without signing a
basketball once?
contract."
That's what I heard. With DeAndre Jordan or something.
I'm not sure actually.
Yes, I heard some type of story where that actually happened with. I think it was when he was signing with the Clippers, and he was trying to. The Mavericks had almost got him back or something like that, and they wouldn't let I don't know. It was confusing, but
Well, I know Keith said it was either yesterday. I think it was yesterday. The Giants fans should lock hands around the facility to make Kenny Golladay never leave. This one kind of interesting. The Falcons actually haven't really done anything, and I don't know how much cap space they're in, to be honest with you. But I think if they would have had cap space, they would have signed some people. But this kind of tells me that they might be rebuilding, so I'll take Justin Fields.
yeah.
This is easy for me. You can go Rashawn Slater.
So, yeah, I agree with you on that.
Sean Slater.
All right, the Eagles. Oh, this hurts so bad.
Something to add though today.
Yeah.
Howie Roseman did not commit to Jalen Hurts as a starter.
I saw that.
So I don't know how you want to take that.
Look, are we going off of what we think will happen or what we will do?
I don't know. It's your pick, so I'm not going to judge anybody.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go with. Look, I think it makes sense to give Hurts a chance, so I am going to go with Jamar Chase. If you throw in a quarterback in that system, like Justin Fields, he's going to get. Into that, the situation they're in, he's not going to work out. I'm telling you that. He's not going to work out. So let's get some weapons, build up a team. If Hurts works out, great. If he doesn't work out, then you get a future quarterback. You're going to be bad. So,
Guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Check these two guys out. I put their links in the comments section. If you're new to the channel, obviously subscribe. Call-in link is there. So if you want to be part of this in some shape or form, if you're if you're a Giants fan, if you're a Bengals fan and you don't like me because I've been going at you the last 24 hours because your team is a poverty franchise, you could join and talk your trash. I really don't care. But obviously, again, the call-in link is there. So 7th, obviously the Golladay is gone, so we're gonna end up taking let's take Devonta Smith. I had thoughts about taking somebody else, but let me just go down a little bit.
Carolina. I should throw a surprise pick here. I'm gonna go Kyle Pitts.
I mean, they lost Greg Olsen how many years ago?
I don't know. It's been so.
I just think him, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson would, and if they can, they most likely have to give this pick up for Deshaun Watson. But in this case, you just want to make your offense as.
I don't want to give too many. I don't want to give too many pointers to Benny here. Obviously, it's his pick.
Yeah.
But the Broncos did sign Ronald Darby, but he's also not good as a number one corner. So
yeah, no, I definitely
take it as you will
on that. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go with.
By the way, this is murder. They don't even have Farley up here. They have Horn as the second corner.
Wait, they don't. Yeah, I was thinking that for a second. Is Farley off?
They changed their rankings.
They put Horn over Farley. I'm gonna go with the safest option, in my opinion. That is Patrick Surtain. I love Caleb Farley. I think he has higher potential, but with those injuries, with a guy like Surtain that's that good, even if he might have a little less of a ceiling, even if he might not have maybe the speed of Farley, you could say, but he's a very good, technically skilled, and I think he's just too good to go with the guy that has the injuries. So I'm gonna go with Surtain.
Okay, so this one, obviously, if for anyone in the comments, if you have any suggestions towards which one team should draft, obviously that is welcome. But here I'm going to have to go into here because obviously they have him ranked too low. Caleb Farley.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looks like you get the Giants pick and you're taking Waddle.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Now it's the 49ers.
All right. Ooh, that's tough. all they got. Okay, I'm gonna go with Trey Lance here. I think him in that offense. I think that would be really good, Trey Lance.
Trey Lance? Okay.
Yeah, I think him with Kyle Shanahan, with that guy, with his talent level, I just think it's almost impossible to not succeed. Honestly.
Okay, just give me 1 second. This is my pick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they do have Balaga. They just signed Filer.
And
Lindsley too.
Oh yeah. So I guess.
I honestly don't think that they're not gonna select an offensive lineman. They need a left tackle. So
Yeah.
Christian Darrisaw.
Minnesota. They just signed Pat Pete, so I wouldn't go there.
Daniil Hunter does want to look for a trade, though. I must add that.
Oh, really? He does?
Apparently, that's what I heard yesterday.
Yeah, he said he wants out. Just for safety, because they do have Patrick Peterson on a 1-year deal, so I'd go J.C. Horn right here.
Actually, not a bad pick. I think they could use.
I don't think they would go that route, but nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go with that because I think
they do have a lot of young corners. I think Cameron Dantzler is one of them. Mike Hughes is another. If they didn't cut him or anything like that, they had a lot of young corners last year. So I think they kind of mimicked the Giants' 2019 defense, but I don't know if the coaching was there, so I can't say.
Yeah.
15th pick.
That's me. Okay, so I'm not going to go with I think I'm going to go with. Oh, this is hard now. This is hard. Could I go? Who did they get? They got Van Noy back though. Would it make sense to go Parsons?
They got Hunter Henry. They got Nelson Aguilar. They got Kendrick Bourne. They got
Patrick Chung just retired.
Would it still make sense to go Parsons here, even? Like, I don't know.
It also depends on how much they blitz. Because I don't know if they're a blitzy team or not. I mean, they're basically the Giant system /
filled so many of their needs. God, yeah, I'm gonna go with Parsons here. This is kind of just in my opinion, that's the best player available. Just adding on, I think Belichick will be great with him.
Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. Again, I apologize for the interruption. You guys have a discussion while I'm gone.
Oh, the Cardinals. That's interesting. So, where would they go now?
Who's picking? This is
that would be Alex's pick, yeah. But where would they go? I guess they could go Aguilari, maybe still. Or they could go Harris, because what's his name just left? They just lost today. Their running back. Yeah.
But they said they're all for Chase Edmonds. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be mad at that. I could see like a surprise pick being like this is more of a low key thing because like as of right now they're very high powered together. So like I would go Barmore. I think Barmore learning from J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones would be able to learn a lot and then be able to also help. But it also depends on the role of Isaiah Simmons. That's also a big part of how they go for their defense because you could either go Owusu Karamoa, but if they plan on having Simmons play that pass coverage role, then that pick would make no sense.
Yeah, they also have the Elijah Vera Tucker's also on the board. They could go something for the offensive line. I think that if I'm them right here in this situation, I think I would go with Vera Tucker. I would just give every single thing to help, Kyler Murray in this offense. Yeah. I think they could still use some offensive line help.
Yeah, especially the guard you always can.
Yeah, they could always have. And then, of course, they can always switch him to tackle and stuff. So I think it's going to be helpful. It would be helpful for them, a team like them, to, have a guy that's versatile. But, what do you think about Rousseau?
Honestly, he's too raw a prospect to take in the top 20,
yeah,
in my opinion.
I agree. I think
a place like Baltimore.
Some people then are too low on him. Like, they say he shouldn't be. Like, I still think he should probably, just because of his talent-wise, probably should be taken in the late first round. But there are some people that will actually think that he should go even after that, which, I don't know. I know he's not the most, technically, he doesn't, have, the technical stuff. He doesn't have really, he hasn't been a very smart player, and he's relied off his athleticism. But I still think, at one point, this guy was literally being called the best edge rusher in the draft. So you can't just drop on the guy that much with that much talent.
Yeah. back to the Golladay situation.
Oh yeah, sorry news on that.
Yeah, just him and not wanting to go to the Bears and things like that. I'm actually starting to hear that Will Fuller might retire. I don't know how true that is.
Will Fuller might retire?
I don't know how true that is. I'm just
Sorry
looking
for
at
the interruption once again. But
He's about to get a ton of money, I would think, right?
I don't know because he's had a lot of injuries over the course of his
injury,
career.
suspension,
And he's got a suspension going into next
Yeah.
year.
Oh, it's going to the next year?
6 games, I think. All right.
Yeah. Oh, this is weird.
Okay. Let's see something.
Yeah, I can't find it.
I'm just looking through Giants on Twitter. I mean, also as well, I don't know who the Giants would trade in this situation. Regarding tight ends, of course, Rudolph is probably a good run blocker. I mean, they probably don't see him as a fit pass catcher, but if it's run blocking and that's your number one tight end or number two tight end or whatever, you know. Back to the mock draft we go. So this is
At this point,
pick.
though, by the way, I just wanted to add into that. Evan Ingram, I mean, at this point, for the fact that you'll save a lot of money from that,
It's
I
like
would
$6
just
million,
definitely
so,
look
yeah.
towards a trade. I would look towards a trade. Definitely look towards a trade with him. But yeah, alrighty.
All right, so back to the mock draft. Cardinals, I honestly they got JJ Watt, but honestly, I'm not sold on the Cardinals actually being a good team this year. Not gonna lie, because JJ Watt, no, he had 5 sacks last year. He got extremely overpaid. Then you go to AJ Green, $8 million deal, but I'm not sold on them. You're just adding another decent pass catcher, sure, but
breaking
he's
news,
had so many
breaking news.
injuries over
Dolphins
his
are
career.
signing Will Fuller to a 1-year deal.
I mean, the Dolphins are
Who?
signing Will Fuller.
Dolphins are signing Will Fuller to a 1-year deal.
I'm going to
Do we
say
know
that
the
does not
contract?
take them out of the Golladay sweepstakes, but at the same time, that's
I
I think it would because of Devontae Parker. So you have a bigger
Yeah,
guy
I
and then
don't
Will
think-
Fuller, and you still got the 18th pick. So
a 1-year deal. That could be good news for us because that's not, anytime it's a 1-year prove-it deal, that's not like
Montravius-
great for the market, I'm sure.
Montravius Adams has reached an agreement with the Patriots on a 1-year
Yeah, I saw that also.
$5 million. Okay.
They both literally
Um,
happened like the same time. It was funny.
So obviously Patrick Peterson departed, so I would have taken I might want to do something here. Because I have in mind who I want to take with this pick, but it also may not be my pick. So let me just do the math. Mine's by 3s, so here, 16, 19, 22. Okay, so I'm going to make an ideal situation for myself. I'm going to trade with myself. Let's see. Let's propose a trade with the Titans and the Cardinals. I know it sounds stupid, but there's a reason why. Because I really like one of the guys, but he's nowhere near 16th overall value. You know what? At this point in the game, you have to do what's best. But anyway, let me take Christian Barmore.
that's what I said.
Honestly, I didn't want to take him with that pick. And also, just a pointer, number 22 overall could be a corner, and that's the Titans. I'm just saying. And I have an ideal person who I want to take there, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Keith, you're with the Raiders.
I'm gonna go Caramel right here.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
that,
their
I like
linebacking core wasn't that great last year. As regards to Potatoes thing, lots of wide receivers this offseason getting 1-year prove-it deals. Will Fuller definitely stands out to that because he's been injured throughout this course of career, and also he's got a suspension coming up. 4 games, I think the first 4 games of the 2021 NFL season. So definitely a 1 year is the safest. How much was the 1 year though? Does anybody know?
No, they haven't came out yet. But that could be good news for Golladay because that could mean if we sign him to a longer deal, which I expect, that could mean the money won't be as much still because we're giving him extra years basically than most of the
Ooh, I
receivers.
pray that Glennon doesn't mess this up.
Also, something to add, and I'll add this in a bit, but Galladay's gonna be meeting with Gettleman. He's gonna be meeting with Judge. He's gonna be meeting with everybody.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting. And also, even though Kevin Abrams was the guy who organized the extension of Leonard Williams, in his press conference, Leonard Williams thanked like Gettleman like 100 times.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Because I think obviously us Giant fans were getting a little tired of the fact that he was asking for $25 million a year. But I think Gettleman, in my opinion, was patient and wanting to get that deal done with him, regardless if he organized it or not. So props to both of them. And, $11 million cap in the first year. I mean, Leonard Williams kind of had to turn down for that just for the money in the future because he knows the situation that the Giants are in. But anyway,
yeah. Whose
your
pick
pick,
is it?
Benny.
Oh, it's my pick. Okay, the Dolphins. Okay, I did them earlier, right? And I took who did I take again? Oh, Sewell, right?
You took Sewell.
Okay. What if y'all? Okay, I know who I think I'm gonna go with here. I think I'm gonna go with. Let me just make sure. Can you just scroll just side and make sure there's nothing else I want to go over?
Okay, all right. So,
all right, yeah, that's good. That's good.
all right.
Okay, I think I know who I'm going with. I'm gonna go with Najee Harris.
Najee, I've seen this a lot, honestly.
I like it a lot to them. To get a run game going for Tua, I think it will really help him out a lot. And he's a guy he's kind of pretty familiar with. Is it Najee Harris, both at Alabama? I think yes, it's 18 is not the best spot for a running back, but I like it a lot for them. And now with now that they just got what's his name? Now that they just got Will Fuller, I think it makes sense just to help finish out that offense.
Mhm.
What was I going to say? You know what is strange to me?
Rappaport just tweeted out. Rappaport just tweeted out. He says he is a wait. He says my understanding of the deal is that it's a 1 year, more than 10 million with significant upside.
That's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
What really got me, I would say, got me by surprise. The Raiders signed Kenyon Drake. And I'm like, what are you going to do? A 2 running back duo, Josh Jacobs and Drake?
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me because obviously, but we'll see what happens. They traded away 3 offensive linemen, Trent Brown, Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson. So,
Yes.
I mean, though the defense is a problem, they might want to do some drafting there. And obviously, we will get to them with the second round mock.
How far? Yeah, how far are we going in this mock? Just wondering.
Second round, 2 rounds.
Okay. All righty.
So it's my pick, Washington. Got Curtis Samuel. I don't know who else. They also got a second corner in William Jackson, which is not bad. They'll beat Dallas twice a year. We'll see about us. I'm going to take Elijah Vera Tucker.
I like that pick a lot. It's a good pick right there.
Keith?
Chicago. This place is a mess.
If you want me to, I'll pull up team needs.
Oh no, I'm pretty aware of them, what they need. Andy Dalton just came out and said that when he was signing with them, they told him he was a starter. So honestly, I would go Mac Jones just because learning from both Andy Dalton and Nick Foles, I think would be 2 people who are wise and who know good football. But I think where Chicago is right now, you want to do whatever you can. It's between Bateman and Mac Jones.
Yeah, I think I know who I'd go there.
No Kadarius Toney at this pick?
I'd like Bateman a lot
sense
more.
as well. Yeah, I'd go him, Kadarius Toney, because I think a smaller guy like that would complement Allen Robinson.
Okay, Kadarius.
Well, are you thinking Robinson's going to be back, I guess? It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he's the type of guy to hold out. I think he'll participate.
Kadarius Toney. So, Benny, your pick.
All right, the Colts.
What have they done in free agency?
I think I know what I'm going to go with them.
Oh, no, not Trent Williams, because that was another team.
Let me just make sure. I don't think have they signed a wide receiver yet? I swear they might have.
They haven't.
T.Y. Hilton are not getting back. Also, I heard Green Bay might be in contention for T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I'm just gonna check.
That is a good. I don't. They had a lot of cap going into this, and I really don't know what they did.
Nothing.
Defensive lineman Brent Urban to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I honestly don't know who that is either. Okay, you know what? I don't think they signed a wide receiver. I'm gonna go with Rashad Bateman. I know he's not really technically a T.Y. Hilton replacement. I wouldn't call him that because he's not really what T.Y. Hilton is. But I think he's just a good receiver with Carson Wentz over there and all, and
Okay.
with Michael Pittman.
So with the 22nd pick, I already have this in mind. Obviously, their pass rush is bad, and their defense is just bad. But two of their corners are not there anymore. So we're going to take Ifeadi Melifonwu.
That's interesting. I took Zach Wilson, so I don't think there's any receiver left that I'd go with right here. So honestly,
quickly check. Yeah, Terrence Marshall, Rondale Moore, but
yeah.
they also got Corey Davis. They might be closing in on Smith-Schuster.
Honestly, I think a guy that would fit almost perfectly with Zach Wilson is Travis Etienne. I don't think they have a number one running back. I think having him complimenting by Juju, Corey Davis, and hopefully they trade for Evan Ingram, that would be a nice little offense, upbeat offense.
Yes, Fernando, we did hear that, and obviously going back to Potatoes thing, a approve it deal does seem right for him. So Benny, you're the Steelers pick.
All right, Steelers. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go with I think they didn't. Did they sign offensive lineman yet? No,
The
right?
Steelers, they have not.
No,
And they also, You know, I'm gonna go with Samuel Cosme. I think they need to build this offensive lineup a lot. It's not really the strong unit it used to be. So try to get back on track. I think they should do that.
Now the Jaguars, they franchise tagged their left tackle again. In my opinion, doesn't make any sense. I think that's like $18 million. If I'm not mistaken. Wide receivers, they got Westbrook, they got Laviska Shenault, they have DJ Chark. Could have sworn they had another guy. But as long as you had a quarterback, it shouldn't be bad. So I'm going to go with protection here. And I'm going to take Jalen Mayfield out of Michigan.
I think you were referencing Keelan Cole, but I think he's a free agent.
He's a free agent. I think the Packers or the Bears or some other teams are in on him.
Yeah, I swear I saw some type of rumor with Keelan Cole.
The Browns, I think they go Azeez Ojulari right here. Just beef up aside of.
I've seen that.
I love
Olivier
that.
Vernon.
Oh, that's great.
And you put him aside of Myles Garrett, who will take in a lot of the attention. I think that'll complement each other well.
Yeah, and I think did they lose Olivier Vernon? Was he a free agent?
No.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
I thought I heard some Browns.
He might have been.
I saw some Browns saying I thought he said that. I think he said that.
He actually, he's a free agent actually.
Yeah, he is.
Correct.
Okay.
All
right, is this my pick right here?
Yep. They got Kevin Zeitler in free agency.
Yeah,
I don't remember who else they got.
I don't think they really made too many big signings. They lost their two edge rushers, but they did get what's his name back though.
They re-signed Tyus Bowser, but obviously they lost Judon.
And they also lost Ngakoue.
Ngakoue too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with. I don't know exactly what's the system are they in. Does Osai fit their system?
Who, Osai?
Yeah.
I know they run. I'm pretty sure. I think they run a 3-4. Let me just look at something on another page real quick because that way I could find out.
Wait, is Osai 3-4? I always mix up with Osai. Can you play?
Let me take a look real quick because I can look at this up.
Yeah.
If this thing would load. I'm just looking up something, and this will answer your question.
All right.
He fits 3-4. So, I honestly think for you there, that's definitely a fit.
Yeah, I had a feeling right.
So 3-4.
Yes, I'm going to go with Osai right there. Yeah.
Kwity Paye has lasted this long.
Yeah. Oh, I think I know. Go on this one.
Number 28. That is me, the New Orleans Saints. They lost Quan Alexander. They lost
Trey Hendrickson.
Janoris Jenkins. They lost Trey Hendrickson. There's a lot of ways they could go here, but I'm going to go Nick Bolton.
Good pick.
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Let's go Mac Jones. It's like, nah. Right here, honestly, I'd go Rondale Moore.
Rondale Moore.
All right, you guys are making this easy on me. I'm taking this right away. I'm going with the Bills. I'm going Kwity Paye. It's just such a great talent. It's fallen that far. There's no way I'm passing up on that.
This one shouldn't be hard for me. They lost 2 tackles and signed a guard, but they also need help at corner. But anyway,
they signed Kyle Long too.
Yeah, they did. They got
True,
their guards. They just need a tackle. They need a tackle now.
I'm gonna take Alex Leatherwood over Tevin Jenkins.
Like it, yeah. And yeah.
Okay, we're going with Tampa. Tampa's one of the hardest teams to really judge. Honestly, I'm actually going Mac Jones right here. I've been standing on whenever Brady is over. Mac Jones would be a great successor to lead that team.
Just 1 second. Just want to make sure. Okay, Mac Jones. So quarterback. That's 5 quarterbacks within the first round. So now we get to the Jacksonville Jaguars once again.
Okay, so didn't they sign a safety this offseason? I swear they signed somebody there.
It's a good question.
Jaguars signings. I swear I saw something. I don't know if it was a big one. Let me see. Okay, they got Agnew.
Yeah, Agnew's a wide receiver.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Brown.
They also signed Marvin Jones, I think, right?
Brissett. Yeah, they did sign. Yeah, they signed him. They got Griffin.
They definitely need defense. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go with Trayvon Moehrig.
Trayvon Moehrig. So I get to pick for the Jets again. Obviously, I'm assuming that their wide receivers will be better. Offensive line, I selected their right tackle. I'm going to go with Wyatt Davis here because their left guard isn't that great as of right now. Alex Lewis, he could be a cap cut for them. They didn't do it officially yet. Feel free to join in, man. If you have time. Oh, he's currently editing. Nice. Okay. As I said, what was I going to say? Once you're done editing, obviously, if you want to come in and join, that's your thing. But obviously, if you're busy, once again, you're good in the chat as well. Number 35 to the not Houston. What am I saying? Atlanta Falcons. That is Keith, your pick.
Honestly.
Wait, sorry. Okay. They just tweeted out, I think it was Rappaport and Schefter just tweeted out something that made not much sense. Justin, the NFL has signed new media distribution deals providing fans greater access to our games than ever before. More information?
Some about a TV deal, and I also know that, again, what was it say? Amazon is now the exclusive owner of Thursday Night Football. So I'm either going to have to go in my living room every Thursday night, or I'm going to have to just stream it off my laptop or something, which I really don't want to do. Because
I go Greg Rousseau right here, and I think he's a very good prospect. I think he's just very raw, but right here in the second round, I think he's a good prospect to have.
Number 36 overall.
Alrighty. So wait, what do they have right now? They got Sewell, right?
They got Sewell. They got Najee Harris.
Oh, this is funny. I'm giving them this is my third pick for them.
They also got rid of Van Noy. So if you want to take somebody like Zaven Collins, but then again, they have someone was mentioning like I forget.
They got
I mix up their names. There's Andrew Van Ginkel and there's also Vince Beagle. I don't know which one of them they kept. I get them mixed up.
Yeah, and they made the trade for them. You know what? They made it. Ooh, this is hard. I think I'm still gonna go with. I'm gonna go Zaven Collins still. I think he's a great player. I think it can make sense there.
Okay. So for the Eagles, first round we selected a wide receiver. It's like the wide receiver. I was gonna say corner, but at the same time, let me take Chaz Surratt. He is ranked super low. This is murder. This is not even funny. Chaz Surratt. Keith, the Bengals. The one's trying to steal Kenny Golladay.
Scroll up for me a bit.
Sure. Let's go up to the top. No, not down. Hold on, let me get that going. Chaz Surratt. And then let me... Okay, there you go.
All right. So, honestly, they went with their first pick. They went Slater. Defensively, I'm not too much aware of.
Yeah, the defensively, like they drafted like 4 linebackers. It was either last year or the year before. They also we need to draft a punter. The second round is best. I mean, the 49ers did draft a 4th round punter a couple of years ago. So,
if they want to have fun with this, they can go Fairview since they want weapons so bad. Nice tight end for both.
So Freiermuth is your final.
Yeah.
They do have CJ Uzama, and to add to that, their linebacking position is not that good. So, obviously, again, I'll respect your pick, Benny, with the.
Yeah. Panthers. So okay. So who did we go with earlier for them?
The Panthers. We selected Kyle Pitts.
Okay, Kyle Pitts. So could they use a cornerback still? Is there a cornerback?
They have not really. Dante Jackson's their corner, but he hasn't really been good. Ever since James Bradbury, let's say, they have not been good. I know they tried signing Eli Apple, and he has not worked out for them, I think he actually got cut. So that's an
I'm going to go with Greg Newsome, I guess.
Dante, wait, let me see something real quick. Okay. It's Dante Jackson or someone else. I think I looked up the wrong Dante Jackson, but you said Greg Newsome?
Yeah, I think I'll go with him.
Okay. Greg Newsome. Okay. The Denver Broncos selected Patrick Surtain in the first round. Let's see. They brought back Shelby Harris. I'm not selecting a quarterback. Let me see team needs. I know it's going to be a lot of defense, linebacker, cornerback, edge, running back, defensive tackle. I wouldn't say all running back. I mean, Melvin Gordon's still there, even though Lindsey's gone. Let's see. Let me go Jason Away. Keith?
For Detroit.
Yeah.
This has to be something with Amazon or something, Potato.
No,
it's new all over, I think. I was trying to look at the...
ESPN just signed new deals with some new people. Yeah, they just had... they just signed some new people for ESPN.
Let's see. Under the new CBA, at least one new media deal needed to be done for 17 games next year. So that's something.
That's what it is.
So I guess 17 games next season.
Detroit.
And I really do think... sorry to cut you off, but I really do think in terms of the 17th game, neutral site, and it should be your in-state rivals like the Yankees and the Mets. Now you do the Jets and the Giants.
Detroit. I'm actually throw a surpriser in here. I'm not. I honestly think with the loss of Marvin Jones and Golladay, they went. Who'd they go with their first pick?
They went. Was it Jamar? It wasn't Jamar Chase.
Smith, I think it was.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I don't want to double up on receivers, but Terrace Marshall is definitely an option for me. I'm not sure what they're actually. It's between Tevin Jenkins and Terrace Marshall for real.
I would.
I just think they'll miss that duo with Marvin Jones and Golladay. So I'll go Terrace Marshall just so they can complement each other. Get Jared Goffs. You don't want to throw him in the fire with no receivers to go with.
Both in the SEC.
And I think this one's pretty easy in my opinion. I'm going to go with
Jalen
Phillips.
Jalen Phillips. The 49ers. So we selected Kyle Trask in the first round. They just signed Trent Williams to an extension, so that's not happening. Solomon Thomas is gone, but that's not really a big, goner. What do they need? That's a good question. Let me look in the team needs. 49ers. No, don't go. Oh, God, I hate this site on occasion. I think I might just go best player available because it's not going to give me team needs. lost Kendrick Bourne,
49ers,
but
they could use a
You go with
yeah, they
Asante
could use
Samuel.
yeah, they could
that
use
is true.
cornerback. They could
Let me look all around corners. Asante Samuel, I'll go him. Keith, you're for the Cowboys.
Ew, this is disgusting.
Frankie G asks, what do you think of the Kyle Rudolph signing? Now, I said this earlier in the stream. Obviously, I'll repeat it. I don't mind repeating it, of course. It's 2 years, what, $14 million, guys?
Mm-hmm.
2 years, $14 million. So a lot of people just judge it, oh, $7 million a year, that's an overpay. I honestly don't think that yet, but I also think we should look at the contract details before we go into, judging stuff. So as far as Kyle Rudolph goes, a lot of people started connecting him to the Giants for some reason a couple of weeks ago. I remember going on the Hub stream and talking about it in some sort, but one of the tight ends is going to go. I don't see them sticking with Smith and Rudolph, and I don't see them sticking with Ingram. I'm not saying both are going to get traded, but Caden Smith is basically, in my opinion, a younger Kyle Rudolph. That's just my opinion, Keith.
I'd go
Miller.
the passion, but I know they need safety, so I go Richie Grant right here.
Richie Grant.
I know their secondary is atrocious.
Yeah, pretty bad. You are now with the fourth pick of the.
Is it my pick? We're here.
Yeah, the fourth pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So Jacksonville. Okay, we got. Trevor Lawrence, of course. Then we got. Who was the next pick? Did we get a tackle? I know we got. I know we got. I got them.
Lawrence. You got. Not Fryermuth. What's his name? Let's go. Let's scroll up. Scroll up instead of boggling. You got Traven Murray, and you got Jalen Mayfield.
Okay. So Trayvon Murray, okay, Jalen Mayfield. Alrighty. This is tough. What else could they use even? They don't really need. Do they need wide receivers still?
No, they have Marvin Jones. They have Marvin Jones. They have D.D. Westbrook. They have DJ Chark. They have a missing one. It's still a pretty good group of wide receivers, so I think that's of the lesser of these.
Yeah, could they use defensive tackle even? Who's the defensive tackles right now on the board?
They have on the board is Jay Tufeli and Levi Onwuzurike.
I'll say Jay Tufeli.
Jay Tufeli. What was I gonna say? Potato says also the deal means ESPN is getting Super Bowl coverage. I am scared. I think NBC should be going back to Super Bowl coverage, but that's just me. Me with the Patriots. Now, they selected Micah Parsons in the first round. They don't need that much. To be honest with you, I think a lot of people are overhyping this whole wide receiver thing with, getting Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne. And I get the reason why, but also at the same time, on the other side of the argument, you have two monster tight ends. Mm-hmm. And that might be all they need. So, as far as PFN goes, defensively, as we were discussing, linebacker took Micah Parsons. They're not really losing any corners unless they, trade Stephon Gilmore. So, Marcus Cannon is gone. Let's take Tevin Jenkins. Next up is Keith with the Chargers.
Chargers. They just signed Lindsey, so he's a no.
They also selected Darisaw in the first round.
Honestly, I know they have Kenneth Murray, but he's more of a run stuffer. I heard he wasn't good in pass coverage, so I'll go Jabril Cox right here just to add another. And he's more of a pass coverage linebacker, so pairing them, one's pass, one's run. So I think that'd be nice.
Guys, if you haven't already, also subscribe to these two guys. The link is up there as well. I'll probably pin one of the links. I might actually just pin both of them. But anyway, the Hub, as he was saying earlier, he's editing, and his video is out on the Mike Glennon signing. So
I did see that. And by the way, how many more picks do we have in this draft? Because I might have to go soon.
Yeah, I would.
We have 64. 64. So.
Okay, 64. Yeah. All right, I'll make another pick or two. I'll take this pick, and then and if you pick, of course I'll have my next one, and then I'll probably go after that. But
48 Raiders. Yep.
What do they need? Can you go to needs? Do you mind?
Sure. They need safety, cornerback, defensive tackle, edge, and linebacker.
Safety, cornerback.
You addressed linebacker with Karamawa before.
Yeah.
They need O-line too. Traded
Oh
away.
yeah, true. Can you? I'll go with. Can you? What are the tackles on the board? Oh, I'll go with Eichenberg. There you go.
Liam Eichenberg.
That's a nice pick.
With the Cardinals, selected Barnamore before. They do need a corner. But I'm honestly going to take Eric Stokes here.
It's a good pick. I know they lost. I think they lost their center. I'd go Creed Humphrey right here. I think they pretty sure.
Before you say that, they did just pick up a center today from the Baltimore Ravens, Matt Scora.
Yeah,
I did
that,
see
yeah.
that for when you did. Okay. Who's there? Yeah, they have defensive tackle. They're fine there. Scroll down for me if you don't mind.
Sure.
Did we go running back? Yeah, I did. I did.
Yep, that was Najee Harris. I don't think we selected another receiver. I think they had a pick earlier in the round, I want to say. Does anyone know what that is, or do you mean scroll up?
They did. What did we? Yeah, you can scroll up. I don't remember.
Zaven Collins.
I think I'd go Trey Smith, interior O-line from Tennessee.
All right. Benny?
Right. Washington, they didn't get Tony, but who did we get Washington?
They selected Elijah Vera Tucker.
Okay, Vera Tucker. Yeah, okay, that was...
So
already, all right.
Just a note,
Okay,
they do need linebackers.
They do need linebacker, right? Would that make sense? Okay, I'll go with you can check linebacker, yeah.
Go to linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker. Okay, and then also can you check wide receiver? I know they have they got what's his name, but it could make sense again. Ooh, Monroe St. Brown makes sense.
Monroe St. Brown, I guess, would make sense.
I'm gonna go with him actually. I think that still makes sense, even though they got
Monroe St. Brown. Now I gotta scroll up all the way back. 52 for me. Chicago Bears. We selected a wide receiver within the first round, so I think offensive line.
I do think I got to go out now, but yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Always a pleasure, Benny. All right, so it's up to the two of us now. Offensive line. Oh, this is interesting. I don't think they need a center. They have Cody Whitehair. So let me take Dylan Redunz. Now yours with Tennessee.
I know they just released their one of their tackles, so I'll go Walker Little.
All right. Lions sign Charles Harris.
Former first rounder.
Let's see. Walker Little, you said. Okay. Colts. It's hard to think because wide receiver was one of them, right? I want to say.
I think we went Bateman with their first rounder.
Yep. Colts edge. I'm not too keen on Ronnie Perkins, so let me go with Carlos Basham. Steelers.
I'll actually go Ronnie Perkins here. I think with the loss of what's his name, Bud Dupree, they have an edge missing right there, so I think that'll be smart to go with.
Personally, I would have gone Creed Humphrey because their center retired, but also he's a lefty, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? For the Seattle Seahawks, they just selected a whole bunch of offensive linemen. They traded for Gabe Jackson. So, let's see. They have Gabe Jackson, so technically he's on the right side now. The center's Damian Lewis. So, real quickly, if this would let me glance the team needs, it probably won't, which who cares. I think they cut a corner, but I'm not too sure. So
Griffin, they let him go.
I'm going to say defensive tackle. Levi Unwuzurike.
The Rams. Find there. Try to think. What do the Rams need? Because they're pretty loaded right now. Actually, I'll go Brevin Jordan. Tight end.
Oh, they did lose Everett. I think he actually went to Seattle. So Brevin Jordan doesn't sound, and he probably could be better than Everett, but we'll see what happens. Baltimore Ravens. I want to say let's go up real quick. I'll scroll right back down. I think he went Joseph Asai. Yeah, he went Joseph Asai. So he might trade Orlando Brown, but I'm not going to bank on that. So let's go to team needs. Baltimore Ravens, wide receiver, edge, offensive guard. They just lost their center. So let's go with Creed Humphrey.
Yeah. Right here, I'm going to go Baron Browning.
They do need linebackers. None of their linebackers are really good. 60th overall, the Saints. I'm going to take Aaron Robinson.
That's smart, yeah. I'll go Kelvin Joseph. I think they just lost Josh Norman.
Interesting. They also got back Levi Wallace.
They did. I don't think he's that good. Like, he was never a spectacular corner, in my opinion. And I think they brought him back on like a 1-year deal. So
still with the same pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that one.
Kelvin Joseph. Number 62nd overall, Green Bay Packers. They didn't lose. They don't have a right tackle, but I think they have better needs than that. Linebackers we already took care of. Let's see if the Packers are visible on here. No, they're not. But there were rumors that they were in on somebody. I think it was an offensive lineman.
Corey Linsley, I think. No, that was it. That's who they cut. Never mind.
The Packers need a wide receiver to draft another QB. So they were in on Hilton. They have Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
But I know they were on some offensive lineman, I want to say. But they signed Aaron Jones to an extension, so it is really tough here. But let's scroll down and see who else is on the board. I'm not going to go wide receiver again. They restructured. It's tough because, you know what, I'm going to play it safe. We're going to select another linebacker because, one linebacker, two linebackers is better than one. Let's go with Dylan Moses.
Right here, I'm actually going to go with Wait, go to offensive tackles for me.
Sure.
Yeah, none of them. I'm actually going to go Jamin Davis. He's one of my favorite sideline-to-sideline linebackers. The Chiefs linebackers are not scary at all, so I think that would be a big help to them.
See, didn't they lose a center? Might draft a new one. That is also some. Actually, why do I feel like they signed a center? I don't think they did, but in case, let's go Landon Dickerson. So obviously that is our full mock draft. Stop sharing. I'll be in here for the next couple of minutes, but Keith, I know you said you had to go.
Step out. Thank you for having me.
Keith, no problem at all.
Peace out.
Peace out. Thank you, Keith. Turn my hat back around. It's kind of looks silly like that. I'll be on here for the next 5 minutes or so, and then I'll probably get something to eat because I am a hungry man. What's going on with Giants Twitter? Today has been ridiculous. I'm just okay. Bills are giving Trubisky the deal. Just saw that, obviously. Can you get... man, just Giants Twitter is a complete cesspool. My back needs to crack, man. I don't have that same issue, but I do have that same feeling on occasion, Kush. So, even though we didn't really get, when I was with Benny and Keith and all, we really didn't get into Odenigbo. But I really like this signing, I must say, because... it was underrated at first. I'm like, who is this guy? Then I remembered his name. He got, his first career sack off Daniel Jones. He sacked Mike Glennon before, so I guess he'll have a field day in practice during scrimmages and stuff like that. But within the last 2 seasons, he's had 10.5 sacks. He had 26 pressures this year. He also had 15 quarterback hits. Solid stats going back to his playing time, which he didn't have a lot of. 65% of playing time. I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. I really haven't watched film on this guy, so I can't necessarily say. But if you have a young secondary, they're not going to give you a lot of time to rush the passer. I don't expect him to move to linebacker because I don't think he has that frame. I think he's just going to stay a defensive end, especially in this 3-4 scheme. In terms of playing time the year before, he only got 34% and 7 sacks. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So Ifeadi Odenigbo, pretty impressed with that. Obviously, you guys see it, wearing the Daniel Jones t-shirt. Anyone's free to come on, talk their shit if they want. I haven't had Bengals fans come at me yet. As of today, I mean, it's still out there, but a lot of people got angry yesterday because Giants fans were, let's see what else. Going through Giants Twitter real quick, then I'll get to Mike Glennon, which is interesting. With Mike Glennon, let me just go back to him real quick. The stats. I apologize for that again. Let's see. Thank you, Kush. StreamYard is so delaying when it comes to comments that, yes, there are Bengals fans, Potato, and especially around the time that, they want to get a wide receiver, they want to get Kenny Golladay, they're annoying. And if I could pull up something last night that I was actually, and the one guy is funny because he referenced PFF to me, and I'm like, you're going to reference PFF to me? And I'll show you just in a minute because I'm going to show you guys my Twitter. I actually made a funny comment to him, or at least I think it's funny. It said something about winning strategies. Come on, hurry up. I've been so active on Twitter. It's been crazy. Brandon Copeland in for a workout, which is interesting. Getting close to it. Here we are. All right, let me share my screen so you guys can see it. Let's go with share screen. So, real quickly, Frankie GS, what do you think Golladay will go for? Personally, if I was to guess it, to be honest with you, his injury history has caused him to kind of not lay low, but in terms of like not being signed on the first day, which you're really not going to get with some of these free agents. So I'm probably going to say between 14 and 16 million a year, but that may change in terms of the Giants cap because as I mentioned before on the stream, I said, these beat reporters probably not getting it right, or the Giants are not telling them the cap space because why would the Giants be signing Kyle Rudolph? Why would the Giants be going out there signing Williams to an extension? They're doing something behind the scenes that we don't know about. So in terms of this, I'd probably say $14 to $16 million, but the cap hit for this year might be low, might be high, who knows? So obviously that's stuff right there. Let's share the screen so I could get to Twitter. Where is it? Right over here. Okay. So obviously I kind of did this before with Miami because yesterday morning was kind of the thing. Basically Miami and the Giants, they're the top two contenders for Golladay. So I basically said this. Then when the Bengals came out with their stupid prove it deal, their poverty franchise prove it deal, I agree with you. Well, that's a good thing. When they came out with their poverty franchise prove it deal, I ranted so many times on Twitter that they're the poverty franchise. But anyway, so I hashtagged the Bengals, and obviously we have a fan here, Joe Burrow over Daniel Jones. Say can't make that argument. Plus, I'll never have the ball when Joe Burrow runs out of lives, and the O-line doesn't give him time. Y'all want to pursue targets when your O-line isn't even good. The Bengals O-line ranked above the Giants. It is only one spot and above, and they both stink. So I say to him, and this is not me, putting myself out there or whatever. You're an underrated Giants YouTuber. Well, thank you, guys. That means that honestly, I mean, obviously, I only have like 4 people in here right now, but I try my best. Obviously, the stuff I get from sports journalism and other stuff like that, I put towards this. Setting up StreamYard, getting the green screen. That's all part of it. Part of kind of reshaping this channel because I know I didn't really have a great beginning. But thank you, Bobby. Benny, what's up? Nice to see you again. But in terms of this, I said, yeah, but the Giants have better depth. PFF is a bunch of, I'm going to say it right now because I'm not monetized, assholes who sit around and pick their boogers all day. If you guys know who I'm referencing, obviously, go out and make biased and clickbait statements just to get views, not to mention their grading system is flawed. So referencing PFF is not a winning strategy. And I said, I mean, the Bengals don't have any great winning strategies. They're not a team that drafts really well. I'm just going to put it out there. Guys, if you haven't already, sub to Benny. I put the link above. I just want to get it back in. Put All Day Giants in there. I have Benny somewhere. Obviously, I want to copy this. No, I'm not going to put myself in timeout. But anyway, I'm just going to pin the tweet and then go on for like 2 more minutes. As I said, if you guys want to scroll up and call in and give your thoughts on something, or if you need the link, I'll definitely give it to one of you guys. Let me unpin this. There you go. Let's see what's going on Twitter right now. We should be the Saints QB1. That's what Fox Sports is doing. How much money do you think we have? We have more than the beat media says we do, to be honest, because once again, they would not be signing Kyle Rudolph and Mike Glennon and all these guys if they didn't have, they had, I think, 11 million. What does it say? Do you know what time Galladay's in New Jersey right now as we're talking? At least from what I know, or it's either later tonight. You never get a straight answer with these things. But as of right now, from what I heard from somebody, he is in New Jersey right now. Do I know that? Apparently, according to like Breer or someone of the NFL reporters, they're like, well, he's going to be visiting today and it's going to stay out through the night until tomorrow morning. So, I would be pissed. Honestly, if no deal is done, let's give me 1 second because I want you to switch something. I would be really pissed if a deal is not done. But if it's in terms of the fact that he fails a physical, I'm not necessarily going to be mad. I think it's just going to be. In terms of Giants fans getting angry. I heard they will be still working on it tomorrow. Yeah, I mean that's also what I heard, that they'll probably be trying to get a deal in. Obviously, Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman, they better do the greatest of jobs on that. So let me just switch in here. I need to switch my shirt, and I look like I haven't brushed my hair in like 6 months. But anyway, that's what happens when you wear a hat. Do I know? Okay, I hope it's done tonight. Most likely going to be tomorrow. If they get him, I'll just be happy. But in terms of Mike Glennon, which I'll explain in a second here. And someone put it out this morning, and they ended up following me on Twitter after I kind of criticized them. I'm not going to lie. Basically the guy's like, Giants have signed Mike Glennon to be the backup quarterback. Actually, no, he didn't say that. He wasn't specific like that at all. He said, Giants signed Mike Glennon, and he was 0-5 as a Jacksonville starter. I said, the lack of context there is just precise. It is great. Today says, well, ESPN is getting more broadcast stuff. Yeah, unfortunately. It would be so much worse if Joe Tessitore and Booger McFarland were doing the Super Bowl, but that's not happening. It's going to be Steve Levy, Brian Grease, and Louis Riddick, who still is salty about not getting the Giants job. But anyway, Mike Glennon, and I was going back and forth with somebody, but they ended up agreeing with me and asking me about Golladay. They're like, oh, he was 0-5 as a starter in Jacksonville. I'm like, yeah, we get it that he's a backup quarterback. But at the same time, Jacksonville was god-awful last year. So, the record is not really relevant. That's what I said. And I'm not joking when I say you could go on my Twitter feed and literally say that. And then he started asking me what I think of, the Golladay stuff. And I'm like, you're a good player. And a lot of people, from what I heard, like a minority of people actually oppose the signing of Kenny Golladay. I say he's a good player. The injury history kind of scares me a little bit. But at the same time, I'm willing to put that aside just so Daniel Jones could get more weapons. So I'll probably end this around when it hits 2 hours. I heard the Dolphins are talking to Chris Carson. That's interesting. That is interesting. Also, the Seahawks, could have selected another running back in the mock draft, but that's okay. Turn to ESPN for 10 seconds. Interesting. And I had the pleasure. I feel bad for you. If you were listening to not Letterman. What's his face? Kellerman, that'd be bad because he's like, Drew Brees is not one of the greats of all time. Arguing who is the best in the NFC East. Well, if we sign Golladay, we could be up there with Washington depending on how our draft goes. But I'm pretty sure it goes down as Dallas and then the Eagles, because the Eagles haven't done crap. Frankie G says, not sure if Golladay is number one. He has only one good season. I think he's had 2+ 1,000-yard seasons. But I think he's definitely the Plaxico to our problems, in my opinion, from what I've seen. And, as I said, the injury history is a bugaboo, but at the same time, I'm willing to get him. Because if it's going to maximize, the talent around Daniel Jones, and if he's going to throw the ball, and you know what, just with this stuff as well, even with John Ross, Jason Garrett better get creative. Because if we're going to be doing 4-yard curls every time, there's no point in bringing in Golladay. So let's see. He's at least 2. Also, someone brought this to my attention that with Freddie Kitchens being promoted, and we saw some deep balls when he was the offensive coordinator last year against the Browns. But we saw, someone brought this up to me, and, they're like, well, possibly now with Freddie Kitchens being promoted, he could have some access to the playbook. So if that's a good thing for the Giants, I really hope so. Nikki says, thoughts on Mason Rudolph. I'm an idiot. I have a Steelers fan friend. That's why I said that. Thoughts on Kyle Rudolph and what does it mean for Ingram? What a lot of people are forgetting, in my opinion, and, this is not me just because I think they're all in on Ingram even before this happened, but they really didn't use Caden Smith like I would have wanted them to last year. I really think that, they didn't like him as much. So, in my opinion, it's not just a thing that Ingram might be gone. It might be a thing that they might cut Caden Smith. This is just my opinion, and no one really has brought it up. But I don't see Ingram and Rudolph being in the same tight end group. Toilolo, that's a different story because he's, $1 million. And even if the Giants were to go in with that group, Toilolo would probably be cut at the end of the preseason. So that's at least my opinion on that. But for Glennon, he's had a decent career and he's played in more games. So that's kind of what I'm happy about in terms of being a backup because, obviously Wesley Steinberg, the GOAT, and also a troll. Yes, we know Copeland visited the Giants today. Special teamer / former Jets pass rusher. Let's see what else is going on. Nothing else is going on. I mean, I feel like something's not going to hit till later. I know Elijah Talk Sports was supposed to come in here. Obviously, he's not in here right now, but I've been going at this for almost 2 hours. That seems really weird. Yeah. So let me just scroll down just a pinch. See what Twitter's doing, and then I'll probably wrap up. So what do you guys feel free to ask me any questions, Ingram, and I know some of you already have been, but ask me any questions, even if, it's about Ingram, if it's about Leonard Williams, if it's about Austin Johnson, if it's about any of those guys, Tomlinson, whatever. Keep asking the questions. I'll probably end this in about 2-3 minutes because I am hungry. I have not eaten lunch yet, nor have I eaten all day. So I probably want to get some cheese and crackers or something like that. Well, I mean, Dave Gettleman said that in his press conference. But I would like to see how that Leonard Williams press conference went, to be honest, because Leonard Williams was saying, he was praising Gettleman during the press conference. Let's see. Who are the best free agents available? I will need some clarification on that for the Giants or just best free agents, because I could look that up right now. NFL free agents. I'm going to go on Spot Track and just look. I know Richard Sherman is available as of right now. I know the Saints were talking to him. Let's go with available. Let's see. In general. Okay. Let's see. If you want to consider Jadeveon Clowney, but in my opinion, he is nowhere near a top free agent. Ryan Kerrigan, I mean, he could be up there. Justin Houston, he's there. Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, they have to be up there. AJ Boye, but he's got a suspension. Russell Okung, he's still decent at his age. T1, every cornerback or every player on this list has something bad about them. Carlos Dunlap, I guess he did, good last year. Olivier Vernon's another one, as much as we don't like the guy. Leonard Floyd, why does it still say he's available when he really got signed? Levante David got signed. This isn't updated. Nick Martin is an underrated one. He's a center from the Texans, or someone may have signed him. I have no idea. KJ Wright's still available if he didn't resign. That's interesting. Snead's still available. Dennis Kelly, if the Giants didn't get back Nate Solder, I think they would have possibly pursue someone like him. That's just my opinion. What's our cap looking like? That's a tough one. That's a tough one, Nikki. Because what we get, I'm not trusting the beat reporters in terms of cap anymore. Because as I said, if they're going out signing Kyle Rudolph, if they're going out and signing Mike Glennon, if they're going out and extending Leonard Williams, Leonard Williams put aside because obviously they were sort of telling the truth in terms of cap like that. That's a tough question because they did not have 11 million cap and then just sign Mike Glennon and then just sign a guy like I already forgot his name now, Kyle Rudolph, who's approximately $8 million a year. As I said, we got to look at the contract details with that one. But I want to say somewhere, and I'm stretching this, between 6 and 10 million. Right now, they could be restructuring Martinez and Bradbury behind the scenes, and we don't know. Nobody's reported it yet. But they could be doing that in order to sign Kenny Golladay. So that's basically where my estimate would be. But once again, $14 million, yes, we know. As I'm saying, I'm reading Twitter, so don't think I'm snapping at anybody. Let's see. Yeah, obviously, once again, I really like when beat reporters they're wrong on something or they're just not breaking something, and what happens is they end up quoting somebody like they had this story all along. It's the Jeff Passan effect. Waiting all day for Sunday night. 11-year extension on NBC. Wow, that's something. Just looking over Giants Twitter right now. Any more questions, I'll take. If not, I'll probably bounce out of here, but I'll wait for you guys just to put your questions in and whatnot. I'll wait about a minute. Just a preview out there, Devontae Booker, and it is also something as well, because I forgot to bring it up with Keith and Benny. I mean, Benny's still here, maybe not. But I was supposed to bring it up with Keith because he didn't really like the Booker signing. He didn't really like the Johnson signing. What I would have done is I would have gone, first into the top tier free agents and then go with depth. But I know, he was, kind of freaking out, or he wasn't necessarily great with the Booker signing being how much a year it is. And at that point, if we sign Golladay, it's not going to matter. It is literally not going to matter what their cap hit is. We sign Golladay, go into the draft and, draft a cornerback. They draft a linebacker, draft an offensive lineman maybe. It's not going to matter. Hold on. I might be having another guest. Tank for Sam Howell. Oh, my God. Not even joking. The words the letters you put it in makes it sound like you're not joking. I mean, makes it sound like you're joking. I added somebody in one of my chats who I very much disagree with in terms of free agency. You might be getting to debating about him. We need to get to the number one pick next year. You sound like a bunch of Twitter GMs, honestly, Bobby, but I don't believe you are that type of guy. Benny says he likes the Booker signing. Yeah, I do too. I mean, I know a lot of people were set their sights on Wayne Gallman coming back, but I'm pretty sure something happened where they just didn't want to bring him back. And he was not a Gettleman guy. Marcus Mariota is taking a pay cut to $3 million a year. That's interesting. I know they were trying to trade him or cut him. As I said, I apologize. A StreamYard. There. All right. Let's see what else is going on Twitter, because I want to see if one of my partners from Uncut Sports wants to come on, because he's been on. He usually defends Gettleman. I'm not even gonna lie, but in terms of what's been happening the last 3 to 4 days, I wish we got Lawrence, but Sam Howell is better. I don't know about that, to be honest with you. I don't know about that, because a lot of people have been saying that he, meaning Trevor Lawrence, is that he's the guy, and he's as good as Andrew Luck. But honestly, what was I going to say? Yeah, he hasn't gotten back to me yet. If he doesn't get back to me in the next 2 minutes, this is going to be the end of the stream then. See who else is a free agent available. I know people are trying to, or at least people were trying to say, Kyle Van Noy to the Giants before the Patriots picked him up, which is kind of interesting. Let me put the second banner down. So, any guys, any stupid questions, I'll take in the next minute. And then if not, if this guy doesn't show up or if this guy doesn't come on, then I'll basically end it over here. I probably might have also, guys, watch out. Let's see. Need some cameras watching Golladay talk to Judge and get him in live. Something Kid Blue talked about is I hope he doesn't really get, I hope he really doesn't, what was I going to say? He hopes he doesn't get his name wrong because remember Tay Crawford, that's what he said in the press conference, which is like, something you don't want to mix up with Kenny Golladay. Bobby Miller says, do you want Sam Howell next year? Here's my ideal situation in terms of the Giants. If they get Kenny Golladay, and people could see this as, oh, you're just a clickbait type. I'm not. But in terms of Kenny Golladay, and just setting up this ideal situation for Jones, if Jones proves he is not the franchise quarterback, that would suck because I have his t-shirt right here. But in terms of, ideal situations and stuff like that, I don't think, say Jones is not the guy and you have a perfect situation where Daniel Jones is actually the problem. I think you go out next year and sign somebody. I don't know what the free agent class is looking like, but I think you try to trade for a veteran quarterback. If a good veteran quarterback is out there or if he doesn't get signed by a team, and I'm not saying, Mike Glennon's going to be the future of the Giants. That's not what I'm saying. But if it's like, what was I going to say? But if it's like, something like that, or if it's like maybe Jacoby Brissett, but I wouldn't settle for that, to be honest. If it was like if Tyrod Taylor, maybe that'd be a stretch. But I would trade or sign a veteran quarterback and then roll with the situation because then you're ready to win. But I think at that point in the game, possibly Dave Gettleman might be gone. Bobby Miller says trade Daniel Jones. He sucks. Yeah, who are you going to trade him for? Drew Lock? Dave Gettleman. This is what Benny said. Welcome Kenneth Golladay. I don't want to be there if he takes offense to that. I honestly don't want to be there. Huge for the cap. Yes, I know. Successful free agency, no matter what believes. Yeah, going back to this tweet. Joel Yaddo says, hey guys, finally made it. DJ going to be a top 10 quarterback next year. Trust the process. I've been on the fence about this whole Gettleman tenure, but you got to have somebody like Joel in your fan base who's very excited about things. And I shout outs to Joel for that because, there's not a lot of people in this fan base that are like that, A, and B, don't have that much cheer. There are a lot of negatives in this fan base. There's a handful of the people who hate Dave Gettleman for absolutely no reason. What was I going to say? Let me see who the free agent quarterbacks are next year since you're asking. Let's go to 2022. As I said, obviously people could get traded and then get cut or something like that. But as of right now, Ben Roethlisberger, Taysom Hill, Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, Nick Foles, Jacoby Brissett, Davis Webb's a free agent. Kyle Allen, Dwayne Haskins, Josh Rosen. And I'm not lying to you when I say this. Kyle Shermer's a free agent. You want to get Shermer back. That's your decision. But it doesn't look good, honestly. I'd rather trade or maybe even stick to Jones depending on how he does. But honestly, Zach Rosenblatt just said on Twitter, a couple of minutes ago or an hour ago, I should say, it's simple. If the Giants signed Kenny Golladay, it was a successful free agency, no matter what anyone believes about the move so far. If not, there's still a lot to work to do. See, here's where I could take that statement. Joel, what do you think of the tanking year? I think he's just trolling at this point, honestly, Joel. I mean, I don't know. He hasn't come on yet and told me that, Sam Howell's the next guy, which obviously because Joel's here and anyone else who wants to come back in and speak, there's the link. DJ really improved the second half of the season, was injured. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Ravens game was horrible, not for Jones, but in terms of what was I going to say? In terms of like the offensive line, that was horrible. The defense was horrible. But Jones, Dante Pettis, that's where we saw Dante Pettis possibly being, a future wide receiver for this team. Here's what I want to take a grain of salt with Zach Rosenblatt's comments, because I'm a realistic fan. I'm going to tell you the facts here. That's what we do on Big Blue in the Bronx. Guys, if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe as I, put the thing. Damn, I don't think he's going to come on. I honestly don't think he's going to come on. But obviously that's his choice. I'm not going to bait anybody to come on. Now, here's the thing I have with Zach Rosenblatt. And he's come out with a couple of clickbait articles on Devontae Booker. Just to be honest with you, that's all I'm going to say. What was I going to say? There was one thing. Oh, that's right. I didn't expect the Giants to be, very active in free agency. I'm going to be honest with you there. I didn't expect them to be active. I did not expect them to be active. But at the same time, could you sign Golladay? When you have the chance, you take it. But I'm not going to be a crying baby if we don't sign Golladay, because the draft still exists. And where do you build your teams? Through the draft. Let me just see Twitter real quick. Excuse me. I need a sip of water. I think I left my water bottle. Actually, no. Right here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really. Okay. Anyway. Bobby Miller says he likes Booker. So with that, I'll add Joel Yaddo onto the stream. Joel, what do you think of the Glennon signing? What do you think of the Rudolph signing and the Leonard Williams extension? If we didn't touch base on that the last time you were on.
Man, look at, the fans are all complaining about how we need playmakers. Judge said he's going to go out and get playmakers. I know these are older players. I get it, but who else is out there right now? Who are you going to get that's better than Rudolph right now? Because everybody wants Ingram gone.
I mean, seriously. And with that, the contract details haven't even come out yet. And I'm not talking how much per year. I'm talking about like actually that with cap hits and stuff throughout, because everyone's assuming, especially with the Leonard Williams contract, $20 million per year. No, the first year is $11 million. So that's what people got to realize about this.
The second year he's a big contract hit, but the third year we can get out for only like a $7 million cap hit.
Exactly, and the Giants can restructure contracts.
That's phenomenal. I mean, so we got to keep him an extra year if he doesn't produce next year. But somebody who signs a 3-year contract, they're out to play because they know they've got that second $60 million contract coming. Because if he's 30, 31, he's still producing and he's not getting injured, somebody's going to go out there and offer him another 3-year deal. It's a win-win for everybody.
And he's going to be 29 when he's a free agent.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he plays. And again, people were obviously calling Williams greedy because he wanted 25 plus a year, but there had to be something where he kind of gave in a little bit just to have $11 million only this year. So obviously that, and we're not saying, he's just grabbing the money or whatever, but I'm just saying also Bobby trolling over here. I consistently think he's trolling.
That's all right.
You'll have those. You'll have those.
I haven't watched Sam Howell to answer his question. I'm worried about this year. I watched last year's football. I saw all the things that we needed. And it's like Judge and Gettleman are doing it right. We finally, everyone hates Gettleman. But he's putting the contracts out there that are right for the teams, that are perfect for right now when we've got $100 million in cap space next year. Now, most of that's gone because we got to re-sign Peppers, and we're probably going to have to re-sign Saquon, and now we got to look at Daniel Jones. But what more could you ask for from a team? We're going out into free agency. We're getting the players that we needed, that we didn't have at the positions we didn't have. We were using backups. I mean, we're in talks for Golladay, who everybody really likes. I'm concerned about his hip. All right, so... yeah, injuries happen.
It says you're the GOAT. The thing with Leonard Williams though is obviously you hear, and Ian Rappaport came out with this immediately. He said, Kevin Abrams and 2 other guys in the front office. But when Leonard Williams had his press conference today, he says, I won't let the trolls bother me, by the way, Frankie. You know, trolls are trolls. Even if Bobby is or is not trolling, I'm not offended by it. It's just his own work. But he commended Dave Gettleman about 3 times during his press conference, if not more. And I think it's because, A, Gettleman was precisely wanting to work a deal with him because he knows how much of a playmaker he is on this defense. So I think that's where it comes from. And obviously, I think the Mike Glennon signing is good. He's played more than Colt McCoy, and if he's a scheme fit, he's a scheme fit. So that's what I think about that.
I like it because he's not putting pressure on Daniel. He's not ever going to say, well, we need to start him over Daniel. Their Judge is making it right now. He got his team together last year. He saw what they can do. He knows who the leaders are. And now he's getting in guys that are, we're not going to have that Tiki Barber, Eli Manning argument where they're butting heads all the time. So Daniel's going to be able to lead the offense. Dexter is going to be able to lead the defense. I'm so sorry that we lost Dalvin, but congrats to Dalvin. He got his bank. He got his paycheck, 2-year deal, and then he's going to go out and get another one right after that. So I'm sorry to see the man go, but it's a business. This team, we love, we die with it, but there's turnover. Just like at your job, anywhere in a factory or in an office setting, there's always turnover because there's always somebody who's going to do your job better. That's the problem.
And I believe, I mean, obviously we're not necessarily there as a winning team yet, but I think the Kansas City Chiefs and what they're doing, obviously they had to get under the cap by yesterday. They signed Joe Thuney, but before that they released both of their starting tackles. I think what they're going to do is kind of, I guess, maybe the Patriots way of they're going to let their guys go and then just replace them with draft picks and good coaching. That's at least what I think. And I think that's proper because, you know, you're not going to sign, a free agent just to be 3 years. No, well, I mean, you would ideally do that in the draft, but still, you know, better than signing a free agent you're taking a risk on.
Right. I mean, that's how you build your team is you go through the draft, you get your talent, you sign these players back, and then you go into free agency and you fill the holes that you need. That's why I'm worried about the O-line. We haven't talked about that at all. I'm still, ever since Zeitler was gone, I was confident when he was here, when we got the new Flaherty, the new offensive line coach, who advisor, however his title is. But yeah, okay, we got Solder. He's going to be a swing tackle, but you can never have enough linemen. Kansas City learned that the hard way last year. And if we have a repeat of what they did during COVID last year, don't we have to carry 9 offensive linemen?
I think 8 or 9 is the minimum.
Yeah. So we're going to need those pieces anyway. So if we get another tackle and we have to pay him $4 million, another Fleming type guy, but then you've got Pert, you got Solder, and you've got that other guy, and they're all going to be fighting. I mean, you need that competition in camp. That's when George Young did the same thing back when we were rebuilding in 1980. He went through the same thing that Gettleman did because the Giants tried to build through acquiring players, and it doesn't work that way. You've got to get the guys in that you like, that fit your scheme, that fit your play style, that fit your coaching. That's how you build a team. Then you add Golladay. You add a backup quarterback who at least gives you a chance to win a game. There's no reason now, after the draft, if we can add a decent lineman, second round, interior or tackle, don't matter. We should be a 10-11 win team next year with Barkley healthy, with Golladay as an addition, with Rudolph as an addition, with I forget the new backup running back that we got.
Booker.
Booker, he's really good. You watched him in Denver last year. He was stealing carries off of the other kid there. But
I know he was Las Vegas last year, but he did good nonetheless.
Our defense is together. We lost one piece.
And he's replaceable.
Exactly. The Giants are known for getting a defensive tackle. They're known that we've done it year after year after year. We get that second, third round defensive tackle. He's a stud. And then everyone complains. Linval Joseph, let him go. Replaced him with Tomlinson. Talvin, yeah. So is going to happen again. They got their eyes on somebody. These guys have been watching draft film ever since the season ended last year.
Yeah, they watch more film. And going back to the competition thing, one thing I would take away in terms of something I didn't like, and I'm not going to be picky about the Giants offseason, of course, but I would have liked them, and one of the options is still on the board. I would have liked them to go out there and take a veteran guard. And I know cutting Zeitler, obviously, for that, but also, are you going to go in there with Shane Lemieux or Hernandez? And also on the other side of that, you could say, well, the Giants staff knows more than the average fan and the average beat reporter. So I do have confidence in that. And also going back to the competition thing, you brought up a great point. How many years ago was that Eric Flowers trying to try out for the right tackle position? They had no competition there, so he immediately won the job.
Yep.
And especially with that, and especially in this day and age, with Joe Judge and even Pat Flaherty, they would not tolerate his, act and stuff like that. But I really have confidence, and it's, a lot of these fans are overreacting. We don't have that many holes to fill. You could either double dip in the draft. Let's just say we don't get Golladay. You could go double dip in the draft if you want to, though it will take a little bit longer to see which is, if they're good wide receivers. Cornerback, and I also would like, let's just say the Giants get Golladay. You go cornerback in round 1, and if he's still there, Wyatt Davis in round 2, and I think you're finished there. I'm confident in this team that they would go 9-7, 10-6, and well, it's not going to be 17 games, so it'd be 9-8. 9-8, 10-7, and 11-6. So I'm confident in that. And I'm confident in Joe Judge because obviously ever since his press conference, he's given everybody hope. But, Dave Gettleman is along for the ride as well. And, we could all make assumptions. Oh, Joe Judge, he's really the reason that the Giants have been signing marquee free agents. But at the same time, if we're going to give him that much personnel, why can't we do that with Gettleman in the Shermer era? Because he was bringing in Arizona guys. He was bringing in Panthers guys. So why can't we give that, props to them, even though it's not good props? And that's the reason why.
Right. Now,
so at least not to
get off topic, but I got something I wanted to bring up to you. What if Kyle Rudolph was brought in to teach Evan Ingram the position?
That's interesting. It's an interesting way of looking at it. I never thought it that way. I don't know about that necessarily because as I said, I never really thought about it. But I think they would try, or at least try to do that with Levine Toilolo because he's at a cheaper price. But also something else I wanted to bring up is that there's everyone's saying, Ingram's out. Ingram's out because we signed Kyle Rudolph. What about Caden Smith? He was barely used in the offense last year. And, what's going to happen with him? Do they like him as much as, the year before? That's just the question I have.
Well, we blacked out for a minute. Could you repeat that?
What I said was about your comment. I said, well, that could be a case as well, but nobody's really thought about, everybody's saying Ingram's going to be gone with the Rudolph signing. But what about Caden Smith? Because he's the blocking tight end. And, I get the Ingram assumption. Sure. Why not? But what about Caden Smith, who was barely used in the offense last year, who wasn't as used in the offense as I would say last part of 2019? So I think that's something we got to worry about. They're not going to trade Caden Smith. They're going to trade Evan Ingram. If they do, and they had talks with the Jets about that, but, they're going to release Caden Smith if they're going to, get rid of him at all.
Right.
That's at least my opinion on that.
Now, the Giants did run a 2 tight end set quite a bit last year, but I just got to thinking when I saw that, I'm like, that could be like he's 31 years old. He's not going to be an every down tight end. Rudolph just doesn't have that in him. He missed some time last year due to injury, didn't he? I believe he did.
Rudolph?
Yeah.
I want to say he did. I could look it up real quickly.
Right.
Though he's had no drops in the last 2 seasons.
Right. But, I mean, who better than to come in here and to lead your tight ends group for the next year or two on an $8 million deal? And if he plays 60% of the snaps, which that might be right down his alley, a good goal line target for Daniel Jones, a good teacher. Look, Evan, we've got Freddie Kitchens is our tight end coach. But now he's going to offensive coordinator, so didn't someone step in for Kitchens?
He's now the senior offensive assistant, which could give him some leeway in terms of the playbook. I want to say, I could look it up right now. One of the offensive assistants went to the tight ends coach. I want to say it was either I forget his name. It's escaping me right now. Let me see. Going down.
But look at the situation the Giants have just created
Derek
there.
Dooley.
Look,
Dooley. Yep.
Look at that circle. How it just comes right around and right back to Ingram. So I could see not trading Ingram, but the Giants fan base, the minute they see something, they get a wild hair in their butt and, oh, I got to run with this. Now we're getting rid of Ingram. We're going to get a second round pick. We've seen what happens when teams try to trade players. You got to have a dance partner. You can't go and do this and say, oh, yeah, we can do this and this and this. Yeah, we can if somebody else is willing to give us this, this, and this. But
exactly.
when you start thinking about it as a circle and as a teachable moment as to what does he really bring to the Giants? He's a top 5 blocker. Rudolph, he's got 70% completion percentage. He doesn't drop passes. He knows how to run the routes. He knows how to get open.
Yeah, I mean, he missed 4 games last year, played all 16 the year before, 75.7 catch percentage this year. Last year was 81.3, so easy target.
Yes.
Definitely, in that case, would definitely help Daniel Jones in that case. Let me just see. Yeah, no drops in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah. Hey, Giants fan, David Gettleman and Joe Judge and Mara said that they were needed weapons. Guess what they're doing? Man, let's celebrate this. Let's enjoy this. This is good times.
Just because, and I'm not going to put so much faith in the John Ross thing because he's not going to be the number 1 wide receiver, but I know I know what he's coming here to be. But just because he failed with another team doesn't mean he won't success with another. Same thing with Kyle Rudolph. I mean, he's 11th year in the league. They could use him some way and maybe, use him better. And, even let's just say something happens with the Jason Garrett offense or they stay the same or similar last year. What's he really good with? Tight ends.
Yep.
That's why Evan Ingram was targeted so many times last year and he couldn't do anything. So if Kyle Rudolph maybe steps in that role where he's utilized correctly, it's going to be a worth it signing. That's at least my opinion.
Yeah, because Garrett loves to run the ball. And we had Wayne Gallman, but Garrett set that up for Barkley. And Gallman's not Barkley. There's no way that
he's straight up the middle. Barkley's home run hitter.
That offense was set up for Barkley, and there's no way Gallman can run that offense because there was multiple plays per game where if Barkley was running that ball, that was to the house. So.
And also there were, I don't know, as I said, I don't know if they did this how many times last year. I don't know if they did it at all. But one constructive idea would be just putting Caden Smith and Levine Toilolo in there. And if you want to run a 3 tight end set with, the tight ends you have, if you get Ingram out of there, realistically, you won't have to worry about somebody missing a block. Maybe Caden Smith on occasion. But you have 3 blocking tight ends, whether Toilolo be used in a game or not, or as a pass catcher, whatever. If he's a blocking tight end and you have 2 other good tight ends like Smith and Rudolph, you're set. Obviously, the offensive line will need to do its job, do its job. Yep. But, going back to the tight ends, you have a trustable group now.
Yep. And not to mention that by signing Rudolph, that probably takes Pitts off the board.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? A couple of weeks ago, actually, no, like last week or a couple of days ago, everyone was talking about Toilolo. Oh, signing him, restructuring him is taking Pitts off the board. I'm like, no, not really.
No.
But when we're talking about now, that, Kyle Rudolph is coming, I'm pretty sure it does take Pitts off the board. So if the Giants do sign Golladay, maybe they go defensive back in the first round or just like best player available.
Yes, and that's how winning teams are made when they can go on the board and take the best player available and bring that guy onto the team. And it's nice to have him a day 1 starter, but let him get a couple of games under that professional level, that intensity, that skill set, and build him in. Like when we had JPP, we had OC, we had Tuck, we had I can't remember. Yeah, Kiwanuka. But he had all those guys to develop around with, and they taught him. And that's what developed him. He didn't have to go out there day 1 starter. Chase Young, he did phenomenal. But could you imagine if he had? Well, he had a couple of guys there to help teach him, but he was basically a day one starter too. But if he could have gotten a little bit more rest and less reps and learn, the mental game is the hardest part. Getting adjusted to the speed, getting adjusted to how technically sound you have to be to play this level of the game. And when you can come in slow, that's the best way, in my opinion. Of course, that's old school. I mean, we didn't see quarterbacks back in the 80s that they would sit a year or two. You didn't run right out there and put them onto the field. I mean, Mahomes sat a year, but Kansas City was Kansas City. I mean, my God, they were 12-4 as it was without him. So
quickly, because I just still have yet to eat, but I'm obviously not going to rush you in your thoughts. What do you think of the Ifeadi Odenigbo signing?
that the guy had 10.5 sacks in 2 years. Minnesota. Who did
He
they
only
really
played
have?
He only played 34% of the snaps when he got 7 sacks, so that's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure. I'm trying to remember who they got on the offense or the defensive line there in Minnesota, and I can't.
Daniil Hunter is one of
Yeah,
them. Michael Pierce, now Dalvin
yeah.
Tomlinson. So pretty, and his first sack was on Daniel Jones, and he sacked obviously Mike Glennon before, so he's gonna have a field day in the backfield in scrimmages.
You know what? Hey, they brought him in here. They must have seen something that they liked. The 1-year deal, I believe.
Yeah, year.
The Giants hit pay dirt when we brought what's his name from the Cardinals? I'm drawing blanks here on names.
Josh Morrow, Kareem Martin, which
the edge rusher that we had. He had 10 sacks 2 years
Golden?
ago. Yeah, Marcus Golden. We hit on him. Fackrell. We had Jabal Sheard. Not bad. Productive. They were good fill pieces because we had so many injuries.
Yeah.
But you know what? They weren't bums either. I mean, they did something to get on the field and play, and you got to have some talent to be a backup. So this, how's he going to look next to Leo and Dexter?
I say pretty good, in my opinion, at least.
Exactly. I mean, this guy could be the edge rusher that we've been needing or wanting. And then next year, we're going to have the cap to give him a 3-year deal if he produces.
Exactly.
Or if he doesn't produce, okay, we let him walk.
Low risk, high reward.
Exactly. I mean, that's where people find gems. It's like John Ross. How many times do we see a guy go to a different team and his career just takes right off? He's a star. I mean, John Ross, all he's got to do is learn how to catch the ball. If him and Ingram go off into the side, whatever, and practice catching the ball, we might have a pretty good receiving core.
It's pretty good to think about. Joel, final thoughts or questions?
Man, just enjoy it, man. Have fun. That's what preseason's about. We're getting ready for the draft. Month and a half away.
Haven't even gotten there yet. The draft is going to be exciting. At least the way I envision it. I don't know if other people envision it that way. But Joel, thanks as always for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I love talking football.
Same. All right, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up. 2 hours and 30 minutes. I didn't think I would go this long. I was just going to go on for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But obviously it turned into a whole discussion. We had Joel on here. We had Kenny. Oh my God. I'm getting so, in my head with this Kenny Golladay stuff. We had Keith on. We had, what's his face? Football Talk with Benny on. Guys, if you haven't already, scroll up in the chat and go subscribe to them. Thanks to Frankie G, Joseph, Nikki, even the troll Bobby, who I think is a troll, for commenting, coming on. Obviously, thank you guys. I try to do this, as often as I can. I was going to make it into a video, but I'm like, why don't I just go live? Just in case anything happens. Obviously, the Rudolph thing happened while I was actually live. So anyway, thank you guys. New podcast episode coming out tomorrow. I just want to put out the banner really quickly. New podcast episode out tomorrow. It's probably going to be Yankees, some related to that. Monday, Boys in the Big Apple podcast. With Sean and Luca, probably have another guest on, something related to topics we'll talk about: NFL free agency, grading the best and worst teams in free agency. You know, it's gonna be fun. It's a laugh like usual. We have fun all the time. Obviously, Tuesday episodes are giant episodes. So I mean, I probably, if something happens with Kenny Golladay, I'll make a video about it. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Like usual, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, ring the notification bell so you guys get notified when a live stream happens, and also when a video premieres, because I'm always in the chat willing to talk during the video. That's what we did the last episode. Tomorrow's episode will probably be similar to that. So thank you guys anyway. See you on Friday. For guys that want to call in next time, actually, I'm doing something on Saturday as well, maybe with the Hub and Kid Blue on this channel doing a mock draft, but I'll notify you guys on Twitter then. And if not, you'll hear it through Discord or something like that. But anyway, thank you guys. Peace out, and we'll see you tomorrow.